where did I put that?
I sent it to you through Discord, so and a private message. So
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking. The reason I can't find it is I'm looking at the in-game thing where I want to be in the message channel.
yeah, I see. I sent it directly to you.
I see it. Now I see it. I just have to open it here. There we go. Yes. And that keeps track of everybody. Oh, good.
Yeah, all the names that we've had dropped.
Yeah, which is good because I lose track easily enough too. Man, do I. And I see you've crossed out those who are dead.
Yes, crossed out the ones that dead. The ones that I haven't met are engraved. The ones that we've
Okay.
just got the name of, the ones personally I have not yet spoken to, are engraved. And then like italics marks villains, people we don't trust, like Caleb Brown.
Yeah, people we definitely don't trust.
hmm So those are just the people we've met so far.
Gotcha. Yeah, and some of the folks from the club.
Mr. Collins, the mysterious Mr. Collins.
Yep. Is he on there? Yeah,
Is
there he
he?
is. The new Mountbatten member. Yes. And his sidekick, as it were, or maybe
Yeah,
he's the
Cameron and
sidekick.
Collins.
George
Cameron and
Cameron.
Collins.
Yeah.
So they're very suspicious.
Okay. And I
Very.
believe then, if we're ready to get going, everyone's good. I think where we left off was preparing to attend a ball at Lord Vauxhall's residence, which we know Hannah Delacourt will be attending,
hmm
Mhm.
and you guys securing invitations to it was particularly easy.
Well,
And
wasn't someone? Didn't someone actually send Delacourt an invitation to a?
Edgeworth is supposed to invite her.
yes,
Yeah.
oh yes.
Get her. Get her. Ow.
Oh, come on.
Well, are you actually going to go with her?
Yes, that was, I believe, the plan. And then we would, God, this is going to sound bad, isolate her so we can hypnotize.
Or do it in front of everybody, but the plan was for me to put a hypnotic suggestion in her mind so I could. Or
Yes,
you
exactly.
could later put her back into a trance.
Well,
Ooh.
Very true.
We'll see if I make the
now
roll.
you,
I'm just
yeah.
looking
Also,
at
of
my.
course, very much worth pointing out,
Mm-mm.
um,
Oh
as
no.
you, as Mr. Edgeworth is not married, and neither is Miss Delacourt. It would be a very significant reputation hit for
Scandal.
the two of you to be alone with no third person present.
I'll be there.
Mhm.
It'll be fine. I'll be there. We'll send Illingsworth.
Uh, uh, Ideally, it should be either a married man or a woman,
That's me.
not a single man.
Yeah.
I'm a married man. It's up to me
Yeah,
again.
even better, a woman.
Okay. I also sent you that information that I want to start going into
Yes,
Limehouse,
the,
like on a Wednesday. I don't know how that falls into the
the
where we're
ball will be
at
on
right now.
the ball will be on a Friday.
Ball's on a Friday. If there's a Wednesday between then and now, I want to do it the first time then
Yeah, yeah.
to aid the
So
sick and see to the poor and the needy and not charge them unless they insist on giving me something because some people are proud.
yep.
And then also ask about rumors about Old Vicar's Court, Old Vicar Lane, or at least try to see if I can pick up some gossip about that. So if there's a day before Friday, no, Friday is
Yeah.
is the church. Friday night is when the church does its thing because it's on the Sabbath. When is
Yes,
Vauxhall's
is
thing the
also on
same
Friday.
night? Oh, I did not
Yeah,
know
it
that.
is.
Okay. Do I have time? Is there a Wednesday before that that has not occurred yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So you
So
can do that.
I'll do that at
We'll
that point.
sum. Let's sum that up then. I think
Yeah,
for
that could
that,
be just quick.
yeah. What am I thinking here? Etiquette, maybe?
Oh God,
No.
my etiquette's not
Either
great. Oh no.
persuade, fast talk, or etiquette.
Oh no. They all suck. Etiquette's the best. And this is just to see if I can pick up some rumors without
Yeah,
disturbing or upsetting anybody. Okay.
yeah. Well,
Hold
given
on.
what you're doing, worst case scenario is you're probably going to get simply nothing of importance.
That works for me. I'll use etiquette. It's at 31%.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
success may get
highest.
you something relevant. Failure will mean you'll probably get a lot of information, none of it useful.
Okay.
Learn about who's marrying who's had a child, who got a job.
Okay. Oh no, 80. I thought it was 08. It's 80. All right, I
Yeah.
get nothing for that week.
So you've
I
got what you do get is you're starting to establish some goodwill in the area.
okay. I also want to leave my card with
Yep.
people who are like still sick, and tell them that if something happens and they need medical care, to come to my house. It's got my address on it. Bring this card, and I will inform my servants that there might be some poor people coming to the back door. No, to the front door. Well, to some door,
The
and
back door.
to admit them if they
Ser-
have the card.
service door or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, if they
Yeah.
want to come to the back door, that's fine. But I want to let my servants know that as well.
They're
So,
more likely to do so given
okay,
the neighborhood.
okay.
Now, one more thing. You can make yourself a psychology roll. So what you're getting
Oh
is a
yeah,
lot of stories about local people, which is not much help to you.
right. That's
Who's got
fine.
a job, who died, who is married,
Put all that
who got in a fight,
upstairs.
who got in a fight with who.
Okay.
Stuff people here care about, but not helpful to you.
49 out of 50 for psychology. Holy crap.
But you were talking about Caleb Brown and Old Vickers Lane. And
I bring it up.
the one thing you will get is outside of that area is a general reluctance to talk about it.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure if we can go on to call it fear, but there's definitely a sense of it's not worth it to talk about that man.
All right. I do
Let's
not.
just let it be.
I don't push the issue.
Yeah.
Maybe next
So,
week I'll start dropping the hint that I'm thinking about going there. I hear people are needy there though, and then
yeah.
see
Well,
what people tell me.
that's how you got that is that people wouldn't talk about it.
Okay.
But you got the sense that part of the reason perhaps they won't talk about it is maybe they're concerned, maybe they're afraid,
That's fine.
maybe they just. It's clear that there's some resistance to discussing that.
Okay. And at some point afterwards, I will relate the information to the other gentlemen of what I've been doing. I'll ask them not to mention it to anybody. I'm not doing this for accolades. I'm just doing this to help people. But that I found this out and that they related this to me. Not much, but there you
Okay.
go.
So,
Oh, who's going to buy
oh,
the balloon? Who's buying the balloon?
did any of you want to lay out to buy Delacorte's balloon?
Delacorte's balloon. Could oh, Edgeworth. Why don't you buy it? I'll front you the money. It was £32, you said, right? Oh yes, I've got that in this drawer here. My wealth
I suppose
allows
they're buying a
me
balloon.
to spend £50 every day if I want. So that's not even a
There we go.
minor purchase for me. And I'll give the money to Edgeworth, and he can go buy the balloon if it's
50
still
pounds
there.
a day. 50 pounds a day.
Yeah. Your assets are that's how much money you can actually spend per day, and not have to worry about keeping track of it. Your
Okay.
spending level is daily.
Yeah, so you are very wealthy.
Yes, my
50
credit rating
pounds
is
a shit ton of
very
money.
high.
Yeah, 50 pounds is a huge amount of money.
I know it's a very huge amount of money, but I don't have to keep track of it. So good for me.
Yeah.
So I'll give Edgeworth. I'll give him £40 in case there's some kind of taxes or issues or problems, and I'll tell him just to keep it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so you can arrange the sale easily enough.
All right.
It's just money.
Yeah, for that. Now, as for Lord Vauxhall, worth knowing before the ball, and of course this is all public stuff. Lord Vauxhall is middle-aged, has a reputation as a womanizer,
Oh man.
and is very much a sporting gentleman. He is particularly a patron of the sport of boxing,
Ooh.
and both a fan and a participant. And
Are,
yes, he still fights at the age of 53.
are any of our gentlemen in our group any good at pugilism?
I don't know if any of you are fans. Are any of you fans of the sport?
No. I'm not.
No.
No.
But are any of
No,
you?
never mind.
Do any of you
I have
know?
about 25.
Same.
That's the base. Yeah.
Yeah, I have
That's
fighting brawl
probably-
at base, so no, my guy
Yeah.
doesn't know anything about.
none of you have ever.
No.
I'm a little proficient in dodging. and not
Yeah,
getting hit.
a fan of Daniel Mendoza then.
Not me. All right, I was just curious. My character's curious when we learned that fact, because perhaps
Yeah,
that'd be a way to impress Vauxhall. Not that
yeah.
not that it matters if we impress Vauxhall. He's not really on our list, I guess.
No, not really. Point
Okay,
is that
sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
he,
Sorry.
no, point is that he's that's the thing that's most easily known about him, is that he's very much a fan of sports. So, for instance, he sponsors fox hunts.
Hmm?
He likes boat racing, but his favorite sport is very much boxing.
You said boat
And
racing?
yeah, another
Interesting.
popular sport.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's backed several pedestrian events, and in fact is something of an accomplished pedestrian in his own right.
What's a pedestrian?
That's the sport of long distance walking. The
Okay.
the height of pedestrianism to really sort of win at it is the century, to walk 100 miles in 24 hours,
Okay. Wow. That's impressive, actually.
which Lord Vauxhall has done about 10 years ago. So he's middle aged, but the man is in really good physical
I
shape.
guess so. All right.
Of course, his favorite sport these days is boxing. And rumor is that Jack Johnson, the former champion and boxing tutor who has a school in London, is going to be in attendance. Like he's sort of the guest of honor.
Is boxing barefisted at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
bloody.
not only that, matches go on much longer than
Yes.
modern ones.
Like dozens, if not score, or even hundreds of rounds.
Yeah, very few go hundreds of rounds,
Okay.
but dozens is common.
Okay.
Like to put in perspective, the last fight under those rules, which took place in the United States in 1875 or 1878, went 75 rounds.
Hmm.
Uh, how long was a round?
About the same as now.
How
Okay.
long is
All
it
right.
now? Is it a minute or is it 5 minutes?
Three,
Uh,
3 minutes?
3 minutes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 3 minutes. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like the fact that how these people don't die is something of a mystery. Because there's a lot. Although, in all fairness, in some of those fights, a lot of those rounds are very little action by the middle part, where both fighters are exhausted and just trying to catch their breath.
Uh,
Yeah. So the other thing is that the theme of the ball is going to be circus related.
ugh.
He has apparently brought in Harriman's circus, so there will be acrobats, there will be jugglers. There's likely to be an animal act of some kind.
Are we supposed to dress? Is it a masquerade, or do we? Are we supposed to wear costumes, or is it just?
No, nobody's wearing a costume or
Okay,
any such
good.
thing. Although a lot of people apparently, there's a word going around that a lot of people are planning on bringing what are essentially silly hats to go with the circus theme.
Oh, I'm sure my wife will have plenty of those.
In other words, if you have a silly hat, it won't be out of place to wear it here. But you're not. No one is requiring anyone to do so.
Right. Okay. I'd like to warn my wife about Vauxhall's womanizing.
Yeah. She is well aware.
Okay, good.
It would be hard not to. There are those who think that the list of women he hasn't hooked up with is shorter than the other one.
Oh no, that means Delacourt's
Like,
Delacourt's
like one
brother's going to be there. I bet.
oh yeah, yeah, he is.
Good luck, Edgeworth.
Yep.
I will not be
Lead us.
armed. I'm going to tell you this now. So you'll be,
Honestly, I prefer that you're not for the
You'll-
party.
you'll be on your own.
So unless there's anything to do before Friday, I mean, you've done that on Wednesday, then
No,
it gets
yeah,
done on Thursday.
I'm done for the week. And we
So-
purchased the balloon.
Yep.
I was still hoping Vauxhall, like you said, was going to do some kind of an aerial themed party.
Well, there might be a tightrope walker or
Just to,
something.
I just wanted to see Delacourt. I was hoping the balloon wouldn't be for sale because it's already been sold, and then we find it. It's all up on a wall somewhere to
No,
see her reaction.
It settled on the theme months ago. I mean, these things take a long time to plan.
Here's a
And
question.
making sure the circus would be available that night.
Okay.
There's a lot of organization that goes into something like this.
Etiquette wise, Can Edgeworth introduce us directly to Delacourt, or is that crossing boundaries during at the party, or do we need to like exchange cards and all this kind of stuff before we even talk to her?
No, at a party, it's okay to introduce someone you don't know.
Okay, great.
It's a public space intended for that purpose.
So
So
that
it's a good space to introduce somebody you do not know to someone who does not know them.
yes. So Edgeworth, introduce us.
Yeah,
Miss
you
Delacourt,
can.
Yes.
Yes,
Dr.
can.
Payne,
Yeah, you can absolutely do that
Mr.
during.
Illingsworth, and
Awesome.
Mr. Baker.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that, and we'll take care of that during the event itself.
Right.
Good time to do it actually.
Mm.
Now, by the time you guys arrive, now, so Mr. Edgeworth is bringing Miss Delacourt as essentially a date. Yes.
Mm.
Okay.
That would be the plan, yeah.
Yep. She is okay with that. Her aunt will be coming along as well, so you have a proper chaperone. I just forgot her name all of a sudden. Not actually her aunt, as you might recall,
Right.
but we have this list
I
here.
remember it's a family friend, but it's an honorary aunt.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever gave us a name. You just told us about her.
Oh.
Yeah, we never got her
Well,
name.
yeah, because Marianne is her mother.
Correct.
Um. Oh, I don't.
Yeah, you never gave a name for her. You just described her, and we were all like, unimportant. Moving on.
I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. Lavinia. Yes.
Lavinia Delacourt.
Yes. Same family name. She never married.
Aunt. Quotes. Thank you.
She's middle-aged. And on the carriage ride out, you'll discover that her role is to be stern, to be a chaperone.
That's him.
She's actually got a really kind of dry sense of humor, which, if you know how to use, is really funny.
Do it.
Like,
Sure.
the woman's got personality. It rarely comes out because she rarely gets an opportunity to. But god damn it, she's actually personable and funny when in private. Of course, once you get to the party, she's going to have to play the role of the stern chaperone again. So you get to see the real Lavinia for like 30 minutes.
That's
Before
when you
she
get
has to
Lord
put the map.
Foxhill involved.
No.
No, they're in the carriage ride. This isn't at the party.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
And because you guys are arriving individually, I would expect.
Yes. I'm arriving with my wife, with Rose.
Yep. And the two of you arriving as you will. Did either of you bring a date?
Oh. Oh.
I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just asking.
Mr.
Nope.
Okay.
Eligible bachelor.
Yeah.
I have on my character sheet confirmed bachelor. So
That won't stop people from trying, by the way.
that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get anywhere, but they're not going to stop. That doesn't mean they're going to stop trying. And of course, events like this are part of the reason they exist, is precisely for people to meet with the prospect of marriage.
Mm.
Go Illingsworth.
Illingsworth is doing it to keep up appearances more than anything else.
But the thing is that Mr. Edgeworth should be aware, I look mostly in your direction. So 4 weeks ago, no one would have expected Hannah Delacourt to be looking for a husband.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Her behavior now is depressingly normal for her gender and social expectations.
But it's like a complete 180 to what.
Yeah.
Therein is the problem.
Yeah.
That's why we
She's
gotta
behaving
hypnotize her.
what those around her would consider normally, which is not what she was a few weeks ago. And incidentally, as you're getting out of the carriage, Lavinia will actually take you by the shoulder and have a word with you on that subject and ask you if you understand why Hannah seems to be different.
Me?
Yes, you're with her, Edgeworth. Go.
Yeah, it's just because she's got a moment as you help her out of the carriage, and then she basically, as you get out first, you help her out, and that's the moment she takes to ask you, does Hannah seem different to you?
Didn't have the pleasure of knowing her before, but her reputation preceded her in a positive way. And I must say, from what I've heard, she seems changed.
Yeah, and I'm worried as well. And that's about as much time as you'll have for that exchange. So Lavinia's noticed. Doesn't know what to do about it necessarily. Doesn't know who to talk to about it.
Interesting.
But is clearly aware of that change. And probably
Worried
knows
about her
more about...
niece.
Yeah, probably knows more about when and where it happened, too.
Ooh. Oh, she would have more details. I think
Yeah.
that
If you
good
can
Dr.
find a way to get
Payne
it out
might
of
be
her,
able to.
yes.
We'll
You
figure
can
it
pass
out.
that off and find a way to talk to her at some point. Now, as for the party itself, Lord Vauxhall's estate, which is located just outside of London, is your venue for tonight. Vauxhall House. It carries the same name as its lord. And it is, by the time you guys arrive, rockin' is the modern term for it. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Is there
The
dancing?
party is, the orchestra has already begun. Dancing has already begun. There are people,
Oh no,
not many of them, but enough to notice, people in brightly colored costumes moving through. And then you realize those are the servants. They're wearing basically circus costumes.
How droll.
Yeah, so he's bought basically brightly party colored, like almost gestured colored circus costumes. They realize those are not the circus people; those are the actual servants. And he went in for new uniforms just for tonight. That's the level this guy will go to sometimes.
Is this normal?
For the rich, yes.
Okay. To be kind of weird, do some weird kind of things like this is okay. It's kind of
He's also showing off the kind of wealth he's got.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm just making
Part of
sure.
the reason you do this is to let everybody know that you can. You will notice as you arrive that among the things set up in the garden, there are two poles, each about 20 feet tall, with a wire hanging between them.
Okay.
Oh,
So it looks like there will be a tightrope act at some point
outside
outside.
at night.
Oh, yep. Also
Okay.
in the garden is a boxing ring.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if there's actually going to be a boxing match.
All I'm thinking is this is the mouse Cthulhu. It'll be used later.
Is what? Say that again. You were real quiet.
The mouse Cthulhu. This will be
What?
used.
Yeah, the what? I still didn't hear you.
Mouse Cthulhu. It's a reference
I don't know
to
what
the
that
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wow, that's obscure.
That's
yeah.
a cut. That's
Yeah,
a deep cut.
Mouse
That is.
Cthulhu it is.
Most people go for like Chekhov's gun. Like if it appears in the first act, it'll be used in the third act.
Oh, is that what a mouse Cthulhu is? If it's there, you know they're going to use it.
That would make sense.
What is a mouse Cthulhu, Josh?
It's a reference to this cartoon I grew up with. I guess it was a pretty popular thing, but I guess I'll just let it go over.
Okay, that's fine. I'm curious though.
Yeah, so am I.
I've written it down.
No.
Mouse Cthulhu. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Where's that from?
He won't tell us.
It's from Mickey's Mouse Clubhouse.
I
Mickey
never
Mouse
watched
Clubhouse.
that.
Wait, I know that.
When was that
Fun
on?
inside, fun inside.
It's a
I
Disney
think I was
Channel.
too old for that. I'm old, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
I don't know that
Oh.
one.
No, I remember this now.
There you go.
Oh,
Anyway, so things you can expect for tonight's entertainment. So apparently a high wire act, perhaps a boxing match,
boy.
and
All right.
a third stage,
Outside
which
still?
is all outside, all in the gardens. These are
Okay.
all stages that have been assembled for this purpose,
Right.
which is a wooden floor, which is covered with mats. So probably there's going to be acrobats.
Oh, I like acrobats.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to get a boxing or some kind of boxing match, a high wire act, and acrobats at some point in the evening, judging by the setup. The window, the big glass doors that open on the salon are open. So essentially, the larger part of the party is indoor outdoor, going from the large salon area out to the garden.
What's the weather like tonight?
Cool, reasonably pleasant.
Okay.
A little colder than some might like. Low
Right.
tonight's probably going to touch about 55 or 60 degrees. So people are, keeping their coats to
Clear.
go outside.
Lots of stars.
You can see the stars, yeah.
Okay.
In case you're, interested in that sort of thing. Yeah.
I know who's not interested in that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Miss Delacourt is actually not loving this setup. As in, she will head for the indoor part of the party. So, as the salon opens on the garden, there's, of course, part of it that's still inside. In other words, you basically have taken out a wall.
So it's just okay.
Indoor, outdoor.
I'm
You ever
gonna.
see one of those concert venues where you slide one of the walls out,
Yep.
and some people are sitting on the grass and some people are sitting under a roof?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially that. Part of the wall is designed to do that, so that you can turn the salon and garden into one space. And tonight they've done that.
Fancy.
Yeah. Inside, there are also places to sit and eat, tables with food and drink, and by the time you guys have arrived, to the surprise of nobody, already a card game has started.
And dancing. And music.
Yeah.
Right.
Dancing has already started, music has already started.
Okay. I'm going to keep my eyes open for the other gentlemen of our little conspiracy, or whatever we want to call it.
Conrad and Howell.
We're just a band right now.
I've already introduced Rose to these gentlemen because I believe we had them over for dinner one night.
I believe so, yeah.
So
and of course,
she's familiar.
And you can introduce Delacourt to the others as you were doing.
That's what I want to. I want to meet her.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to really look for Edgeworth mainly.
Yeah, the place to do that is going to be in the dining area.
Oh, let's go.
So that's where we'll start with you guys congregating there, because Miss Delacourt really doesn't want to be outside if she can help it. So here's a place that's indoors. Tables have been set up for people to sit and eat. Servants circulate with food and drink. That's where you'll do your introductions, which you were already, I think, taken care of. I circle back to that for a moment. So that'll give you guys a private moment if you want.
Yeah.
You can secure a table for yourselves. So it's essentially 6 of you.
6? What? No, 7. With the aunt. She's there, right?
This is the moment she will take to go and pay her respects to,
Okay.
to Lord Vauxhall. As in, there's enough people. This is a public space, so she doesn't need to hover.
And a married couple's here.
Well, also, the dining room is a public space. Other
Okay.
tables are occupied by other people.
Gotcha.
So the only thing that will really harm your reputation is you do not want to be alone in a room with no other persons.
Right. Except for other
This is a
men.
public- Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is a public space, so nobody's worried about that. People come and go from the dining hall as they please. Servants are circulating. People are eating and drinking and talking. A single musician with a violin is circulating.
Oh. Ah!
So you got the orchestra outside. Here, music is provided by one musician who's wandering between the tables.
So
playing the violin.
have introductions been made?
If we'll start there with those
Okay,
introductions.
yes. I'm going to wave to Edgeworth and head over. Oh.
Okay.
Yep. Edgeworth would be walking with Miss Delacourt into the building as quickly as she would like, as she's obviously very uncomfortable with being under the open sky.
Yep. And you'll see Lavinia at this point. Once the two of you are seated, Lavinia will excuse herself to say she's going to go pay her respects to Lord Vauxhall.
Okay.
May we join you, Edgeworth?
Oh, Dr. Payne. I look to Miss Delacourt.
Oh, nice.
Nods, of course. Your friends are perfectly welcome here.
And then I look to Edgeworth.
Her smile is a little forced, as in she's playing by the rules of etiquette, and you know she doesn't love this.
Miss Delacourt, may I introduce the esteemed Dr. Payne, my good friend, Edgar Illingsworth and
I'm not with
my
them
other
yet.
good friend. Oh, sorry, no, not yet.
I don't
Oh,
know.
sorry.
I just came over with Rose, with my wife Rose.
I'm talking to ghosts.
Yep.
I thought
That's
everyone was
okay.
here. My
I don't
bad.
know if everybody is here
Oh,
or not, but I decided to
did,
just
did
jump
the other
in.
did the other two of you arrive as well?
Fourth wheel.
Sorry, Josh.
Okay,
Say
so I
again.
guess you have.
I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a fourth wheel. I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable.
Okay, so I suppose you haven't yet. So where are you at the moment while they're doing that?
Say,
Yeah.
I'll probably be hovering for the moment, and like I'll be paying my respects or whatever for the moment. Just
Okay.
floating around for the time
be,
being.
I'd also float around and be kind of a wallflower.
Okay.
In that
the
case,
two of you will also notice something else then. In the
Ooh,
foyer,
nice.
there's a stand of books, copies of Jack Johnson's modern rules for boxing.
ooh,
Is he signing
And
autographs? Is he signing?
no, but there's enough copies there that they're clearly intended for each guest to take one.
Oh, nice. Free book.
Yeah.
Swanky.
And if you hang around a bit, you will in fact see Jack Johnson. He's at the moment surrounded by a group of women, clearly fans. He's older now. It's his last real championship fight was 15, 16 years ago. And if you watch him closely, you'll notice the way he sometimes stutters, which a modern analysis would suggest is the beginning of some kind of brain trauma-based dementia. Just, stopping fists with your face for a living, not the greatest plan in the long term. But in the meantime, he's got a lot of fans. That's clear. They're mostly, of course, talking about less important things. You will find Lord Vauxhall gathered with a group of men of his own age, his crowd, as it were. You might recognize a few of them. Mr. Payne's, for instance, the sportsman. I believe that's one of the Marlboroughs over there. Lucas Marlborough, perhaps, who's also quite the hunter and boxing aficionado. The weird one, though, the one you would not expect to see, is
Edgar
Daniel
Illingsworth.
Is who?
no, is Daniel Mendoza.
who's
Mendoza is a former is a boxer as well. Used to be.
Oh no.
The thing about Mendoza is he's retired many years ago. The thing about Mendoza is, one, he's Jewish, and two, he's been in and out of trouble with the law since retiring from his career in boxing. He's been accused of assorted financial mismanagement. So seeing him here is a little odd, in that he's kind of, in a lot of ways, persona non grata because of his run-ins with the law. On the other hand, he is one of the greats of the sport. So clearly, from Vauxhall's perspective, his achievements in the ring outweigh his social problems.
Oh. And this is just Illingsworth and Baker who notice all this, right?
Noticing
Okay.
these things.
I was gonna grab one of those books. What was the title of that book again?
Modern boxing, or modern techniques, I think. I can look it up in a moment. But
Techniques.
I
Okay.
also grab a copy and start.
they're intended for that. Oh, fun fact, by the way, I gave this little thought, and I kind of like this idea. You know how if you take the time to read and study a mythos book, you gain Cthulhu mythos knowledge?
Yeah. So same with like
Uh,
Brawl. If you read the book,
Read it and study the exercises in here, and you gain a few points in Brawl.
I like that.
That's kind of why I grabbed it. So.
I like that.
It's literally instructions for the art of boxing.
Yeah, that's cool.
What you'll find is it's less text and mostly exercises.
Right.
It's just like learning from somebody, like from a teacher or something like that. I like that idea.
Exactly. This is how you stand. This is how you deliver this kind of punch. This is how you defend. And it shows you diagrams, beginning, middle, end.
Back, knuckles forward.
Yeah. Like starting stance here, execute punch. Here's an illustration. Finish punch here. You should be in this position when you finish the punch.
Right.
That sort of stuff. So it's an all-purpose guide to learning about boxing, and intended clearly, from the table there, the servant there minding it, intended for each guest to have a copy.
I'll pick one.
Incidentally, judging by the number of copies there, we probably mean each guest. I don't expect that most people think the women are going to find this book useful, but clearly there's enough for everybody who wants one. So no discrimination there. If you're a woman and want to study in boxing, take one.
Interesting. Okay. Did I pick up on the fact that obviously Delacourt is not? I mean, her fake smile and her discomfort at the etiquette that's going on here.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything I could do when we're introduced that might indicate to her that I feel the same way without lying or anything?
That would take an etiquette role on your part.
And if I fail, I just can't think of anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A really bad failure might end up alienating it.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a 96 to 100.
Yeah.
Now I'm nervous. 83 is just a bad fail. It's not a crit fail. So I can't think of what to do. So I just should take her hand or whatever is appropriate to when we meet.
Yeah.
And introduce her to my wife, Rose.
Yeah.
Rose Payne.
It's after the fact that you realize maybe Rose could have helped here. But that clicks like 30 seconds too late.
Yeah. She's probably got a lot better etiquette than I do. I will joke with Rose and ask if she would like one of the pugilistic books. I think they're for the guests. And then I laugh.
She has no interest in such a thing.
That's what I figured.
Although Miss Delacourt says, if you're going to get one, I'll take one.
Oh, of course. Unless you'd like to get us some, Connor. Or Edgeworth.
I was actually thinking of grabbing one myself.
Well, then please.
Well, I'll get them. Please, I'll be right back. Oh, Illingsworth! Join us!
You'll be able to rope the other two in if you wish, if they wish to be roped in.
Where the hell's Baker? I can't find him. If I can find them, yes, I'll note. I'll greet them.
I believe you'll find Mr. Baker over by the table where the books are.
Okay, so I greet Illingsworth and I tell him, "Oh, look, there's Edgeworth," and then when I find Baker by the books, I'll grab 4 copies of the books, and note to Baker that we're having hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and I kind of gesture in that direction if he wishes to join us.
I nod and follow.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, cool.
I
didn't know if he wanted to.
While I have a moment alone with Delacourt...
Rose is still there.
Well, with Delacourt and Miss Payne.
With Delacourt and Rose,
Mrs. Payne.
I will just say, if I may be honest, I'm a little anxious. I don't normally come to these kinds of functions.
Well, neither do I, she says. I suppose one had to better learn such things at some point.
I suppose, at least, I have the company of a fellow first-timer.
And from what I understand, if it gets really awful, I suppose one could take out one's aggressions by punching someone. Or so I'm told. I mean, there's supposedly going to be a good deal of punching before the evening is done. So I'm told.
Connor will have like a genuine laugh at that, because that is just... she is just being genuinely charming.
Yeah, and you guys saw the boxing ring. Someone's getting punched probably before the night's over.
Someone's going to.
Oh man, I don't like the looks of that. Tell me when we get back. I don't know. Illingsworth might get there before I do. I just kind of pointed him the direction of our table.
Yeah. Oh, you guys will gather at that table. At this point, also, an announcement is made that there will be an available game this evening, a fair game, in which any gentleman who wishes may attempt to last 3 minutes in the ring with Mr. Victorino.
With Mr. Who?
Victorino.
Oh
Apparently,
my
Mr.
goodness.
Victorino is a wrestler.
Okay, so we haven't heard this name before. Sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was one of the boxers.
unless any of you follow wrestling,
No.
No.
he's with the circus. He's a wrestler. It's a county fair game. In other words,
Yeah.
it's a bet. And if you can last 3 minutes and not get pinned or thrown out of the ring, you win.
Not for me. I'm not much of a
Gee.
brawler. Ah,
So
Miss
maybe
Delacourt, here. If
maybe
I
it's
may
not a
be.
boxing match. Maybe that's what the ring is for.
Okay,
That there's
good.
going to be any guests who want to take a chance can step into the ring and attempt to last 3 minutes against Mr. Victorino. Anyone who does wins.
How many rolls
That-
is
that-
that?
that is 180. That's 18 rounds, I think. No, a round is about 5 or 6 seconds. So there are.
It's a couple.
Yeah, there's. It's a while. You got to last.
Also, at some point, you will probably get a look at Mr. Victorino.
Oh, yeah.
Who is about 6'6" in any direction you care to measure.
Oh, huge as all get out.
Yeah.
Huge.
The modern word you're looking for is diesel.
Diesel.
Yeah, I said
mean-
this guy is built like a truck.
Oh yeah.
Like, his muscles have muscles.
He's built like a bull.
Yeah.
Illingsworth is well above average in strength and size.
Is this brawl checks though to wrestle?
Yeah, probably.
Brawl or grapple. I
What about
suspect he's going
dodge?
to be relying on grapple to grab people and throw them out of the ring.
There's no actual grapple skill.
I think that's fighting brawl essentially.
Oh, yeah,
as far
something
as
brawl.
Cthulhu is
Yeah.
concerned.
It's all they
Yeah,
combined it
that's
all
all.
from 6th edition. It used to be all separated
Okay.
out.
Yeah, so fighting brawl is where it's at then.
Yeah,
And possibly
really-
strength to hold him down once you pin him.
right.
Dodge, please. If I go dodge, can
You
I?
could
Can I
theoretically
just run
dodge.
around the ring?
That would
Um,
be you're gonna lose so much reputation, Edgeworth. If you just run in to get in the ring and run away from this guy the entire
I know,
time.
it would be funny.
It also actually might impress Miss Delacourt. Now we can't have this conversation. Sorry. I bring back
If
the
you do-
books.
well-
I hand one specifically to Miss Delacourt since she seemed to have an interest, and hand one to Connor Edgeworth. And I leave the other two books that I brought on the table for now.
Yep. For what it's worth, by the way, those of you with at least 25 in etiquette, if you got in the ring and
Yes.
you ran around like that, it would be funny. If you pulled it off, depending on how you did it, you might either gain or lose reputation. Because you might be seen as a coward, unwilling to fight, even though you got in the ring. On the other hand, you might be seen as clever for taking advantage of your speed as opposed to an opponent who's larger than you.
How would that be adjudicated, though? I mean, would it be etiquette? Would it just be? Would it be some other like social skill in order to convince people that you're
There's
just
that,
having
yeah.
fun and being a goof?
Probably a lot depends on the actual outcome.
Okay.
Like if you pull it off successfully, you got a much better chance of selling it as a concept.
Dancing? Use dancing. I don't know. I'm not
It's
doing
one of those
it.
things
It doesn't matter.
It's one of those things that taking on an opponent who's larger than you can gain you reputation for being
Mhm.
brave. But running around like a clown can cost you reputation for being a clown. So it really depends on how people perceive it
Well,
and whether you're successful.
even if you lose, you could gain reputation for the bravery part. If you lose with like class and dignity and that kind of
Yeah.
thing, right?
In which case, you're not running around, you're taking this guy on.
You're actually trying to
Head on.
win. You
Yeah.
lose, he's freaking twice as big as you are, but you were still willing to get. And I bet it would. And I suppose wrestling that I wouldn't say bloke, wrestling that gentleman would impress Lords Vauxhall quite a bit. I'm looking at Illingsworth and Baker. They seem
This
like
is also
the kind who would wrestle, to me at least.
this is also true.
Thomas might try.
Of course.
Well, apparently that's there's a list going to be placed near the ring, and you can
my
place your
God.
name on it if you wish. In other words, Mr. Victorino has essentially a dance card,
Would be
and you can
would be a
place your
good way
name on it.
to impress our esteemed host.
Where is our host? Do I see Vauxhall anywhere?
Oh yeah, you'll see him. He's outside.
Okay.
He is near the ring.
hmm
I
I've
think
never
at the
met
moment,
I've never met Vauxhall, have I?
Not face to face. You've been in the same places he has a couple of times.
Do I
you've
need
traveled in some of the same social circles, but you've never met him
right?
face to face more than at some point you might have been introduced. Like you may have shook the man's hand at
Have
one point
we?
in time.
Have we been introduced? That's I think important.
Probably yeah, at some
Okay.
point.
I'd like to go talk to him for a moment. If you
Okay,
excuse me, I'll be. I'd like to talk to Lord Vauxhall.
okay. So you're heading over there.
Yes.
What about and the rest of you are still at the table then?
Yeah.
Rose is there unless she wants to come with me. Either way is
She'll
fine.
come.
She's
She'll come
coming.
with you.
All right, good. I'm gonna take her hand and we'll go arm in arm.
Yep. Yep.
We're
And the
way
rest
too
of you still.
affectionate. I'm gonna lose reputation.
No, you're not. Being affectionate with your wife has no harm to your reputation.
I actually love my wife. There's no place for that in Regency Cthulhu.
There's nothing against it either.
I know. I know.
Yeah, you're not expected to love your spouse. If you do, that's fine. No one will criticize, but no one will get on your case if you do so either. It's just one of those things that
I have such a crush.
if you don't, you will lose nothing for not doing it.
Yeah. That was kind of a joke about the Regency.
Well,
That's
it's a joke that lasted 101 years and more. I mean, think about how many comedians into the 1970s and 80s made a living bitching about their wives.
Take my wife, please.
Please, yeah. I mean that joke was funny
Okay.
for 100 years. That joke was funny 100 years after the Regency era.
So I'm off to do that if anything else happens.
Okay. Are any of the rest of you doing anything then, or are you simply eating and drinking at this point?
I'll be eating and drinking for the
Okay.
most part right now. I probably will venture my way to the dance floor or something and
Yes.
Okay.
start dancing at some point in time.
Okay. You will need to find a dance partner then.
Yeah.
Do you have
Where's
anyone
this
in particular in
picture?
mind, or are you simply fishing for someone interesting?
He may. Yeah.
His pictures in Investigator Pics.
Right. So I guess he'll fish for the moment.
Okay. Well, then make yourself a dancing roll. Let's see how
All right.
impressive you are at this.
Go, Aaron.
I rolled a regular success.
Okay. So your first
Check.
target for the evening
Oh
then.
yeah, I can check that
Yep.
now.
Your first partner for the evening will be Miss Cornelia Aronson.
Okay.
The Aronsons are
Aaronson?
they're an up and coming family.
Okay.
They're what we would call nouveau riche.
They're like me.
Cornelia is making her debut this season.
Okay.
Oh, how old is she?
19.
Aaron checks Illingsworth's age. How old are you?
Appropriate for this time period.
No, that's fine.
How old are you?
30.
That's well within normal range.
Right. I said that's well within appropriate time period.
I was just curious. I think it's fun.
I know.
Yeah, women tend to marry around between 18 and 20.
Right.
Men tend to marry between 30 and 40. Because men are expected to be already established with a life, a business, and income
Right.
before getting married. Whereas women are expected to marry, basically as soon as they're adults. So yeah, now that's very within the range of the normal. So there's you having a nice time.
Yep.
What about Mr. Baker?
Just reading his book.
I'm reading the leafing through the book, like nose in the book, and I'm walking around, so people
Okay.
notice this. And I make my way to the sign up list for the fight.
Okay.
And
In this case, you will find yourself where Dr. Payne already went. That's where Lord Vauxhall is. He's basically, what you'll notice is he's watching to see who's going to sign up.
he sees a guy reading his book, nonchalantly looking down at the list, grabbing a pen and jotting down his name, and then walking off.
Dr. Payne's name.
No.
Yep. So you're on the list. Did you actually read the list when you signed it?
I
to
made
see.
I made sure to put my list closer to the bottom.
Your
So we
name.
Well, are you putting yourself in the? You're not taking the first available slot then.
no, I am not.
Okay, because
Right at the bottom.
you'll notice the list is slotted by time. In other words,
Yeah, so I'm
each slot
near.
is indicating a particular time when the bout will begin.
I'm closer. I'm not at the very end, but I'm closer to the end
Yeah, you
of
take
the
one of the
game.
ones.
Right.
Gotcha.
I got to give my time to study and read this book.
You're not boxing. You're going to be wrestling.
Yeah, this is pugilism that the book's about, isn't it?
I
Yeah,
guess
but
it's all
is
by game
wrestling?
purposes. It's fighting brawl regardless. But
Well, wrestling does not bar punches.
oh, okay.
Oh, I
And this
didn't
time
know
period,
that.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, wrestling, depending on what kind of wrestling it is. Some
None,
wrestling does. Not
none
sure
of the
what kind of
wrestling I
wrestling
knew
this was.
of.
Yeah.
I couldn't throw a punch in high school when I wrestled.
Well, modern wrestling is nowhere near.
Well, if you're talking professional wrestling, that I
Yeah.
wouldn't even consider that wrestling.
No, that's not what I'm
No,
talking about at all.
that's
The most
acting.
pop the most popular kind of wrestling in this period is what's called collar and elbow wrestling, which is
So
where the fighters
would it be
begin with their hands on their opponent.
okay?
Oh, okay, that's
Okay.
interesting. That's scary.
You
I'm not
basically you
signing up.
basically extend your hands like this. You put one hand on your opponent's shirt collar. You put your other hand on his opposite elbow, and he
Okay.
does the same to you.
Okay. That's all right. In high
That's
school, like I said, I mean,
yeah. No,
I didn't
modern
we didn't
freestyle
actually
wrestling is
tie up from the get go, but I was in
yeah,
a heavier weight class. We always ended up tying up, so that's what that sounds like to me. So
yeah. The freestyle wrestling where one person gets on a knee and the other puts their hands around them like that. That's a
yeah,
holdover of this kind of wrestling.
yeah. Say that's what we would do the second and third rounds if it lasted that far.
Yeah, but
So
That's modern freestyle wrestling, which is a
yeah,
descendant of this kind of wrestling.
yeah. All right,
Not the same sport. You're talking about a sport that emerged from this one.
right,
So if it's that kind of wrestling, and on the other hand, if it's Pancration style, like Greek style, then
right.
punches and kicks are allowed.
Okay.
Not sure which one this is going to be.
Oh,
Uh,
oh. Okay.
Nobody specified. I guess we'll find out.
Nobody's asked. Yeah, nobody's tried to find out from
And
Vauxhall
nobody's
yet.
asked.
And my character's
Oh,
not that
and Lord
interested.
Vauxhall will make a moment for you. You know, he's talking to
Oh,
some others,
yes. Well, yeah, I'm
and
not gonna. Yeah.
and then I'll be like, "Oh, Dr. Payne, is it?"
Yes, Lord Vauxhall. How nice to meet you again. We met at blah blah blah. Whenever it was some
I'm
party that we met at.
Lord Stanley's, I believe.
Yes, exactly. I noticed, and I point out all of his things and and I note his servants, and I was like, there might be something that I could do that could provide some entertainment. I don't know if it's anything you would be interested in or not, but I have some small skill at mesmerism, at hypnosis. Would that be of anything that would might interest you for the party?
Several, several of his friends are looking at that too, like they've heard of that
Mm-hmm.
mesmerism, and you can. It's clear that some of them are like, "Okay, that sounds interesting."
I mean, it
Um,
follows in with the whole festive circus air that you've created here. Very nice, by the way. Very nice.
it does, and there are those days where I would say that asking guests to join the entertainment would be a bit far, but that is today is not
Yes.
one of them.
Oh,
And he taps the list, and notice whose name is first on the list.
the pugilist list, the wrestling list.
There's only one list.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. Well, whose name's first on the list? I'll look at the list. Oh,
His.
oh, oh!
Oh,
I want him. I am very impressed by this. Um, and I look at him with like glowing eyes.
Right?
Oh,
And it's very clear
I'm
that
checking the
the
time.
part yeah
And I
part of
check
the
my
problem, of
watch.
course, is that it might harm one's reputation to be part of an entertainment.
Okay.
So by placing himself first, he's making it clear
Mm-hmm.
that this is a thing guests are permitted to do.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't want to interrupt this, and I'm checking the times that the wrestling starts and finishes.
It's between 8 and 10,
All right.
with basically each block a 10-minute blocks. So
And
the
I
first bout will be at 8 o'clock, and then 8:10,
right.
8:20.
I note the high wire, and there was a third thing. What was the third thing?
Acrobats.
And the mats. Yes. I
Yes,
don't want to
they would
interrupt
like them,
anything
yeah.
that you've already planned. Of course.
Well, then maybe we'll get to that at the end of the evening.
That sounds
We have,
splendid. Millie,
well,
let me know for sure.
of course, we have wrestling first,
Oh, of
then
course.
acrobats, and Mr. Harriman has assured me that he's brought a troupe of acrobats who come all the way from China,
Ooh. Chinaman. How
who
exciting.
do incredible things.
Not racist at
I've
all.
I've never seen such an act, but I'm
Oh.
told that it's supposed to be remarkable.
And then and I gestured again towards this high. How high is this high wire?
It's about 20 feet off the ground.
Is there a net, or is it just dirt, or is it over concrete?
It's over grass.
Grass. Okay, that's still pretty high. Okay. And
Yeah.
then the tightrope, and then
Hmm.
and then this. Oh, how exciting! Oh, have you met my
Yes.
wife Rose? Has he met her? I introduce her.
I don't believe we have. It's a pleasure to meet you. And they'll exchange pleasantries.
Yes, and then we'll be on our way.
Yep.
I don't want Rose around him too much.
Yeah, it's fair. He is charming and, a tough guy and all those other sorts of things that people find attractive.
I'm not,
And honestly,
Which is why she loves you.
because I'm weird.
spending time in his presence will, we'll clue you in. The guy's charismatic.
Okay.
He projects an aura of confidence that people find attractive and charismatic.
Okay.
My guy is not.
My guy's
Yeah.
okay.
So,
And then we'll go back to the table.
okay. So, long story short, then the evening will wear on for a bit. As for about 8 o'clock is when the fighting will start,
Oh boy.
and people will mostly exit the dance floor at that point. As with a successful dance roll, by the way, you are impressing Miss Aronson,
Yes.
which is good.
Miss Aronson,
Uh,
is that her name?
Aronson, yeah.
Is that with an E or an A?
Uh, A. Aron.
Aron. Nice. Thank you. Sorry.
So, in other words, it's a good time for now.
Yeah, like I
if
said,
you're-
he's
Excuse me.
pretty good at dancing, but he just still kind of does it to keep up appearances and say that he's part of the social scene, and
What the hell?
Yep, well, you are, and you have.
that's
And,
basically
you
what
know-
he's doing. So,
You made a friend here, and people may start talking,
right, that's fine.
and that's won't do you any harm.
Is she pretty?
Conventionally, so yeah.
So it's a
Doesn't
step
she-
up for my guy. Oh.
Not the kind of beauty that would stand out in a crowd.
Wow.
Charming, attractive conventionally, and honestly, kind of a nice person.
Uh-oh.
She's also clearly in a little over her head here.
Oh no.
Well, she's fully aware of the fact of where her family stands and her role in this.
We're probably actually more alike.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're very much alike, actually.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, everyone is aware her family is shopping her around
yeah.
and really want her to marry somebody with a title.
Oh, Illingsworth doesn't have a title.
Nope.
And no. So in that sense, actually, you may have done very well here in someone who can provide you a bit of cover
Yeah.
with no expectation of
Right.
anything else.
Until she falls in love with you and wants to run away to France.
Well, there is that little issue if that happens. But for the moment, you seem to have done okay.
He smells like dogs. I love dogs.
Now, as for by 8 o'clock, most people have gathered outside. Miss Delacourt is willing to do this, but she's going to sort of hang back, so she's kind of under the roof. You guys are basically, if you're going to see the fight, you're basically in the back row.
Does Rose want to see this? Is she interested at all?
It's not that she's interested; it's that it's what everybody is doing,
Okay.
so it can't hurt to see.
All right.
If there was a better option, she'd probably take it. But this
Yeah.
is the popular thing to do, so she's going to be polite and watch and clap when it's appropriate
Yeah.
to clap.
We'll stick to the back near Edgeworth and Delacourt then. If she doesn't seem to really have much of an interest in it.
Nah, not really.
Okay, yeah.
And Mr. Baker, are you more up front? Want to get a look at what Victorino is doing?
Yeah.
I'll watch. Yeah.
Okay. So, at 8 o'clock, Mr. Victorino steps into the ring, backed by Mr. Harriman, who's the circus proprietor.
Mm.
Takes his coat and his tie off and hands them to Mr. Harriman. Lord Vauxhall does the same. He's supported by, I think that's Mr. Cass, his butler. Although, given that he's wearing a ridiculous circus hat, it's hard to tell.
Mm.
Like, that hat looks like several birds died for it. None of them willingly. So he
Such
takes,
was the time. Yes.
yeah, he takes Lord Vauxhall's hat, or his coat, and his necktie, and the two of them then exchange a grapple. So this is going to be collar and elbow wrestling.
Mm.
So this is wrestling, not boxing. So they set themselves in position. Then Mr. Harriman looks around. He's waiting for someone. And then you'll see a woman, also wearing a circus costume, come up to the ring. And he looks at her, he looks at the two fighters. She then says, "Gentlemen, are you prepared?" They both nod. And then she announces, "Begin." In other words, the ring girl.
Okay.
Her job is to tell the fighters when to begin. Also, on that begin, Mr. Harriman takes a watch from his pocket and clicks a button on it. His job is to keep track.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, it's 3 minutes.
I'm gonna take my watch out and keep track too.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Yeah, several people are doing likewise.
Okay.
They're curious as to how long Lord Vauxhall will last.
I'm curious if the rounds are gonna be kept accurately.
Well, there's not going to be rounds. Remember, this is a bet.
It's 3 minutes. Yeah.
So
Stamina
it's
test.
one round, 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, let's see how good Lord Vauxhall is doing.
Good luck, Lord Vauxhall.
It's a 40 for him, so
For
success.
Britain.
Regular success.
It's
And
working in-
that's a hard
it's working
success
in the
for Mr.
Regency.
Victorino.
Oh no.
It's
Yeah,
working in
so-
the Regency roller this time.
Yeah, it is. So Lord Vauxhall
Hey.
will last. Surprisingly, he actually lasts about 90 seconds. In other words, for a man who's giving up probably 100 pounds in 30 years,
A minute and a half still isn't bad.
he does okay.
Still not bad.
Wrestling's
And of
hard.
course, yeah, I mean, keep in mind the size and strength he's giving up to his opponent.
How tall is? How big is Vauxhall?
Vauxhall is about 5'10", maybe close to 6 feet.
Is he
and maybe
solid?
170, 180 pounds.
Okay.
He's well built. He's solid, but
And
he's
it's
going up
muscle.
against the man who's
Yeah.
6'6" and
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
300 pounds. Keep in mind, by the way, something else that those of you know modern wrestling, there's no weight classes.
Yeah.
The concept of weight class hadn't been invented yet.
So Vauxhall, 90 seconds.
Yeah, but when you grow up in a small town and the next biggest guy next to you is the heavyweight.
Yep.
Guess who you get to wrestle and practice all the time?
Oh yeah, good point.
The heavyweight.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't have enough guys for every weight class.
Like, I was giving up 50 pounds in practice every day.
So you know how good it is to last that long against a guy
Yes.
who's that much bigger than you.
I can appreciate the minute and a half to the 3 minutes and the amount of energy it took for him to survive that long.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Go Edgeworth. Go.
Oh, I was actually wondering. So we're just watching the scene unfold before us, and we're
Unless
watching
you're doing
the
anything else as
champion
well.
and Foxhole.
Yep.
Yeah. I was wondering. I know my good friend Mr. Baker is going to be getting in the ring with the champion soon. I was wondering if Edgeworth could be watching the match not for the spectacle of it, but for any weaknesses that he might be able to pass on to Baker to exploit.
I'd also like to look for weaknesses. I'm studying the game.
That would take a brawling roll.
Oh, I was actually wondering if I could argue for spot hidden.
No, Spot
If it
didn't
would
want to
be
help you here. It's about Ted. This is about understanding what he's doing.
Just make the
Yeah.
roll. You might get lucky.
fair.
Right. You got
Yeah.
a 1 in 4 chance.
Yay.
Is anybody injured during this first little battle?
Not that they will admit it.
Okay, that's fair.
Lord Vauxhall gets basically ejected from the ring and lands on the grass.
No blood though. No snap
Um,
of broken bones.
No, he bounces back up.
Okay, fair enough.
It's clear from the way he impacted, he probably is hurt, but there's no way he's going to admit that in front of the grass.
All right.
He took a hard fall that knocked the wind out of him. That's probably going to bruise badly. There's no way he's going to say anything.
That's fair. That's fair. Wait, is
Anyway.
Delacourt's brother here? Oh shit! I wouldn't know. I don't know what he looks like. Never mind. I have no idea of knowing.
If so, you haven't seen him. Anyway,
Okay.
how'd you do on the
A fail
brawling
for me,
roll?
unfortunately.
Ah,
Okay.
can he push? Like by watching several different bouts?
Maybe
Shit!
after
Shut up!
several
I'm
bouts.
sorry. This is not my thing to
No,
say.
No, that's
I'm
that's
sorry.
fine.
I'm
After
sorry.
watching
I don't
a
wanna
number
push
of
it.
bouts, you might try again.
I think I'm not going to push just because I want to stay close to Delacourt in case something happens.
Okay.
We're near Delacourt
Um,
as well, because I'm near
Anybody?
Edgeworth.
Was anybody else studying the bout?
No.
I'm just watching.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
watching to
so-
see if anybody gets badly hurt.
I am kind of fascinated by it. So
I didn't hear what you said.
Josh said that he was examining it, or that he was
Oh, yeah.
watching for weaknesses.
So
Yeah.
we're not able to use spot hidden to check.
No, this is a
No.
brawl. Nothing is
Okay.
being hidden here. It's just a question of do you understand what moves he's making.
right.
Well, I was looking for any injuries, any that if he's favoring one leg over another.
That would
was what
also
I
be
was
that would
for,
also
but
be part of the brawl as well.
Yeah.
If he's favoring a stance, for instance,
Yeah.
because it's hard to tell if you don't know what you're looking at. Is he favoring? Is he leaning his weight on that leg because he's injured, or because that's the right way to do it?
I failed my roll.
Okay, so the problem is neither of you know much about wrestling, so it's hard to tell whether he's doing something wrong or favoring a thing, or whether that's just how you're supposed to do this. Those of you who are not doing that, though, are welcome to make a spot hidden roll.
Oh, Kevin,
Exactly.
that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, these are the wrong dice.
I missed it. And I'm not going to spend 9 luck points or anything like that.
Nope, 53. I failed as well.
Okay.
I rolled
Unfortunately,
a 54, Andy.
well,
We're
she
50s
did. Hang on a
bros.
sec.
We're 50s bros. 50s bros.
Rose and Rose as well. So, two of you will get to notice this anyway, because Rose notices it first,
Ooh.
and basically, looks to you, and looks. She's looking up.
I looked
Did you see
towards.
something? Did you see something fly?
No. No, I didn't. I want to cautiously look at Delacourt, because we're right next to Edgeworth and Delacourt.
Who is very much looking up and takes a full step back.
Does she look really nervous?
You go
Perhaps
white.
terrified?
Yeah.
Okay.
saw something.
Has
She thinks
Edgeworth?
it's up there.
Has it? What did
No.
she say?
She saw something she thinks is up there.
Did Edgeworth notice this?
I don't know. He was looking at the fight.
Oh yeah. All right. Does she look faint? Does she look pale?
She, without saying anything, retreats several steps. And that's when Mr. Edgeworth will notice
Yeah, I was about
that
to
as well,
nudge
that
him.
she pulls back several steps.
What did you think?
And then turns to Mr. Edgeworth and says, "Would you get me a brandy, please? Please? No?"
I didn't hear that. Can you say that again?
She asked if you would get her a brandy now.
Absolutely. And I begin walking back into the sort of main dining room with her.
And
Away
she,
from
she'll
the-
follow
Is
you.
she
and
going
get
with?
her-
Okay.
Yeah. She's getting under the roof.
What did
She's
you?
retreating until she's...
What did you think you saw, Rose?
I thought I saw something fly. Perhaps it was a balloon. It seemed to come. It seemed to pass in front of one star, then another.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to
While
look towards where Baker and Illingsworth are, and just they're probably in places that are in front of me, so they're not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to catch their eye.
I'm
No,
probably just looking like I'm focused on the fight. I haven't noticed anything, probably from what you could tell.
yeah, you're watching the fight for
would
entertainment value because
Right,
it's entertaining.
would
right.
would Aunt Lavinia be within sight?
Yeah,
Oh, I would absolutely not like wave at her, but like
oh, she's already
sort of
on the
like
job, as it were,
s- yeah,
helping,
signal
helping,
her to.
helping Hannah to a table while you go get the brandy,
Mhm,
and
absolutely.
mouths to you as you're going to get the brandy. This is what I make.
A nod.
I love this. I'm
Uh,
watching the sky instead of the
if
fight now.
Yep.
yeah, if she would let me, I'd guide her back to where we were sitting previously.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's exactly where she was going.
yeah, under the with a roof over our heads. And just uh not push the issue, but just sit with her and uh give her space to breathe.
Yeah, and she'll take the brandy, sip at it. As for Rose, the thing about it is that she saw it pass in front of the star,
Hmm.
then another one, which means it was too big to be a bird,
Right. Birds
which is
don't
why she thought it might be a balloon.
birds don't fly at night anyway,
Most don't, yeah. I mean,
and
it could be an
bats
owl.
are
Bird sized and
bats are small and owls are not too big. Would you like to step back inside? Perhaps we should see how Miss Delacourt is. Is what I'm going to say to
Um,
Rose.
she's okay with that.
Yeah, we're going to head back. I want to approach Edgeworth and the Delacourts. And
Yep.
Miss Delacourt, are you all right? I am a doctor. If there's anything I can
I'm,
do to help.
I'm fine, thank you. The brandy is helping. She's not fine. She's the opposite of fine.
Of course. Um, fuck, I don't know how to approach this.
yeah, you do.
Well, if there's anything I can
Uh,
do.
the skill you want here is reassure.
Oh no, I bet I don't.
You
My
sure?
reassure sucks balls.
This is exactly
It's
It's
why that
me.
skill exists. It's for moments like.
terrible. It's terrible. Okay.
Well, the thing is, you
Well, I'm
can
gonna
get
try.
you might get some help from Lavinia on this one.
Rose might. Can Rose help me a little too? Rose is very
Yep.
good with. I don't know if she's very good with people. I don't know if you've rolled her up or not, but
Well, mostly it's Lavinia who will be taking point on this. Rose
okay.
can help and will.
Can I help?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a roll and no, 33 out of 10. So that's
Okay.
just a
So
regular fail. I'm not much help.
you won't do any harm, but Lavinia
All
has
right.
a hard success on this.
Oh, fantastic.
So she can help you basically get Hannah to admit that she saw something flying and she's convinced that it's following her.
What is it?
I don't know, she says. Leans in close.
I lean in close.
I saw it that day above Dover. It landed on the basket, came out of the storm, out of the weather. I I cannot, on my life, describe it to you. It was like a bird and a horse and an elephant and a snake and all of those things and more. And I thought that I must be imagining it. I must have dreamed such a thing up. I mean, I was battling for my life against the weather. And I hoped that I had dreamed such a thing. And when I landed, I put it forth from my mind, and then I saw the marks it had left where it landed on the basket. And that was no dream.
Proof positive.
Now, some of you investigated the basket, right?
Edgeworth
Hmm.
and Baker investigated the basket, and
Yeah.
I don't know if Edgeworth actually saw, but Baker told us about the marks. And no, we
Yeah.
bought the
Mhm.
fucking basket. All of us have
Yeah.
seen the
We
basket.
bought. Yeah.
Yeah.
The basket's in a
So
shed in my backyard or wherever we
that's what
decided to store it.
that's a perfectly good place for it.
Hmm.
She's actually that's what she's talking about.
Oh
You
yeah, yeah.
saw she would have tried to pretend she'd imagined it, but there's the evidence. The physical damage to the
Hmm.
basket wasn't created by her imagination.
Mm.
And now you believe that this thing is after you?
There's something, I swear I saw something. Maybe it was it, maybe something else, but something is flying up there tonight. Something follows. Maybe it's following me. I don't know. I don't I don't know. All I know is anytime I'm out there, out under the sky, under the stars, anytime it can see me, it can see me. And it follows me.
Based.
And
Based.
I fear I'm going mad. I mean, how could such a thing be, and why would it take an interest in me? I gave it no offense.
You haven't been associated
Well,
with anyone who might have been connected to it?
I heard
Sorry,
I
I'm
heard of
sorry,
a
Graham.
man who claimed that he knew about things like that. Angels, if you will. Caleb Brown. So I went to see him.
I just nod and look at her like, go on.
He insisted the thing was an angel. Now, I suppose you probably know your Bible as well as any man. You remember what the angels are like, not the ones depicted by the painters.
mhm.
Creatures of multiple eyes and wings and a form that the eye can't follow. And remember, when the angel first comes down to Jacob, the first thing it says is, "Be not afraid."
Mm. These old, yeah, older depictions.
And
Perhaps that is, in fact, what I saw. In which case, if that is an angel, then whatever sin is on my soul is what it seeks.
I try to look surprised. But, Miss Delacourt, what sins could be on your soul?
I haven't the foggiest, but I haven't a better answer. Why would the thing follow me?
I'm gonna look at Edgeworth very piercingly.
The laws of the unseen world are strange and fickle.
So you don't think I'm crazy to have imagined such a thing? You think it's real?
Not in the slightest.
I believe you, Miss Delacourt. Perhaps we can help you.
I doubt any man can, but I'm certainly listening. And Lavinia, by the way, is watching all of this
Oh
with a
yeah,
sense of, okay, I get it now. Like, Lavinia is basically having some of her suspicions confirmed.
Rose is there too. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. And Rose is doing this sort of like, what the fuck? Like, won't put that in words, but
Huh?
her eyes have been doing nothing but what the fuck since this whole conversation
Tactics
started.
wise, what? How do we want to go about this? Do we want to
Ah,
be
we
open
can't.
and
We can't
honest with her?
discuss this. We can't discuss it. This is role play. We're in the middle of role play here. I gave you a
Mhm.
piercing look. You should have been able to read my mind.
Yeah.
You did give me a piercing look. Okay.
You can
In
say
that
that. You can
case,
ask me if we should reveal all.
And Lavinia at
it,
this point
it,
will catch on to something and ask Rose if she would help her get some drinks.
Mm,
Lavinia
Oh,
is tuned in.
nod to
She is
Lavinia.
tuned in
oh,
socially.
oh my God! I love Lavinia. Does Rose go with her?
Lavinia's great.
Yeah,
I
she's
want
just
her to
caught
be
on.
my aunt.
She just caught on to what's going on here, and Rose is
Okay.
watching Rose's what the fuck look, and says very much getting the sense of Rose isn't handling this well.
Okay.
Let's
Oh, thank you, Rose. If you could get us a few drinks.
yeah, she's gonna go do that now.
Thank you. Miss
Lavinia.
Miss
Thank you,
Delacourt.
Lavinia.
No, Lavinia's taking
Yeah,
Rose
yeah,
with her. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that leaves you guys and Hannah Delacourt at the table.
And I'm a married man, so I can chaperone.
And well, remember, it's also
Uh,
you're in a public place.
Oh, that's true.
You're,
Yeah. There's some
this is
servants
the fact that there are servants,
dressed as
one or two
fucking
other
clowns.
tables. There are also other one or two other tables are occupied by people. Like for instance, over there is an elderly couple,
Oh, they didn't want to see the fight.
the Brownings, I think, who probably no. It's not that they didn't want to see the fight; it's that there's really no place to sit, and they watched one or two bouts and then decided they wanted to sit down.
Oh, that's right. They're still fighting out there.
Yeah, so they basically watched the opening one and then decided that they would rather sit than stand. So there's a few people in here. None of them are paying attention to you.
Edgeworth, what
yes.
do you think? I'm looking at you
I think
significantly.
I think that a candid approach would yield the best results.
Miss Delacourt.
Yes, now look. Oh, would you?
Oh, after. Oh,
Oh, thank you. Stella Court, I must. I'm afraid I must be honest, and that uh, my reaching out to you did have an ulterior motive. You see, my friends and I have been following some loose threads around London. A number of unexplained happenings, dark
strange.
portents, strange things happening
You need
involving the sky,
you need spend no time
involving
convincing me of this.
involving bizarre uh,
Coincidences.
happenings all over the place. Yeah.
Including.
And one of those oh, sorry. One of those threads led us to you. And I
in-
turn it over to the doctor.
including a gentleman named Mr. Buckwhite.
Quite. He's the fellow who died in jail. Yes,
And he claimed that you came to see him under another
did.
name.
I did.
I've also spoken to Mr. Brown, Father Brown, or whatever he calls himself, who is a very disturbing figure, and he
I
seems
know.
caught up in this as well.
I met with him first. He was the
Before,
one who suggested no after the sighting. He's the one who told me that the thing was an angel. He said that I was blessed to have seen it.
why did you visit Mr. Buckwhite?
That's a little more personal. She looks around.
Is there anybody within, like, listening distance?
No, although she's still being careful.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned of Mr. Buckwhite from Reverend Brown. They had some connection, which I assume was a criminal endeavor, but I did not press to ask further.
So
Mr.
you are aware
Buckwhite.
of the
Go
Sorry,
on,
go ahead.
please. No, go on, please, Mr.
you are
Delacourt.
aware of the Church of Starry Wisdom.
That's Reverend Brown's church, yes.
Yes.
How did you learn of the church?
After the event, I began doing all I could to understand what had happened to me. I could not go back outside, so I took to reading. And I came across a particular work. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Babylonia? Whatever it was called.
No, not the Babylonia.
Okay.
Rather, no, this was a monograph, part of the Vestigia Monumenta series, concerning Maiden Castle. I don't know if you're familiar.
I shake my head.
Can I
Well-
make an occult roll?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, good
Yay.
idea. Yeah.
Finally, I get to use my good stat.
Yay!
Mhm.
Yay!
Do it. Succeed.
Come on, watch me fail.
Mm-mm.
Extreme success.
Hell
Okay.
yes.
So, Maiden Castle is the nickname for a Neolithic site. In other words, we don't know what the locals called it. It's located in County Dorset, and it has probably been in use since around the year 2000 BC.
Oh, God.
The reason that it's of interest is because there's the area of the causeway contains a set of sculptures, of relief carvings. And in what she's referring to, the Vestitia Monumenta series, the writer of that particular edition, that would be Jacob Gwynth. Gwynth.
W-Y-N-T-H.
Gwynth. Gwynth.
Thank you.
The name is corrupted Welsh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
his
actually
ancestors were
not
Welsh. Yeah. Claimed that the relief carvings at Maiden Castle were evidence of a Babylonian connection, and argued that what they depict is the Babylonian deities of Thaqua, later known as Thoth.
So Thoth. Yeah.
Thoth.
Thoth is, yeah. I'll explain. I've already told you everything that happened with Thoth and all that shit in the. Yeah.
Yeah. You are also now. The thing is, you're aware that there is also supposedly another site that contains that, which would be in Annandale. In the Strath of Annandale, which is in Scotland.
Oh, we're gonna have to travel.
Now, according to what you know, you don't have to look this up. With extreme success, you already know that. The Strath of Annandale contains a church that also supposedly contains a Zothaqua relief. And of course, St. Anne's, now the Church of Starry Wisdom, supposedly contains one as well.
Does Edgeworth get like this look of pure comprehension on his face?
Yeah.
The dots are connecting.
Okay.
What Gwynth argues in his edition of the Vestia Monumenta is that the Maiden Castle carvings are evidence of a transplanted Zothaqua cult that reached the British Isles by 1800 BC and survived, he claims, into the Christian era, hiding inside the Catholic Church as it developed in England, and resurfacing in the Strath of Annandale Church and St. Anne's. In other words, those carvings are not an accident. They're pointers to members of the Thoth cult. Gwynth argues that Gwynth not in the Vestia Monumenta, but there's something you know that she probably doesn't. That Gwynth believed that the Thoth cult were magicians. And the reason that they went underground by the 16th and 17th century was a changing attitude towards magic. In 1200, you could get away with being a necromancer or sorcerer. In 1500, they will set your ass on fire for that.
Yeah. So he's coming to all this information.
This is when she mentions that, it all clicks for you.
Light bulb just went off over.
And that's what led you to Father Brown? And I'm talking about the monograph she just mentioned.
Yeah, that she read that. She had remembered hearing about or reading about the Zothaqua carving at St. Anne's and decided that speaking to Reverend Brown might be worth it. So she did.
Do I think she's telling the truth? Is she just feeding us a line?
Given how scared she is, it's making sense. If this is a lie,
okay, she doesn't seem to be lying to me.
Yeah. No.
Okay, cool.
But she thought that Reverend Brown would understand.
Psychology roll.
That's what I was asking for. But if I'm convinced that she's telling the truth, then I'm fine with that.
Well, she read it there. She's probably not indicating all the sources she read, but she came to the conclusion that Reverend Brown would know more, which is why she took a risk to visit him.
And then he sent her to prison to talk to to talk to Buckwhite, who also probably didn't. What did Buckwhite tell you?
Well, the reason that she spoke to Buckwhite was part of what Brown told her, but Brown implied that Buckwhite was a member of the Thoth cult,
Mm.
and that that the specific thing she encountered, the track of Thoth, as it were, that he would know as much as anyone.
But
Now, remember, you guys had already came up with the idea that he was related to a family of thieves.
yeah.
If that's true, then they're either in or adjacent to the so-called Thoth cult.
But Father Brown is not part of this cult.
She's not sure what the relationship is.
All right.
Clearly, he acquired the church, which means if he's not in that cult, he's friendly to it. She's not sure if there's actually a difference. Unless the cult has a hierarchy. Does the cult have a hierarchy or a leadership? Alternatively, he's a member because he says he is.
Were you in his office?
And who's gonna tell him no?
Were you in his office when you spoke to him?
Yes.
Did you see any? I'm gesturing at Edgeworth now. How? Yeah. Help me with the timeline, Kevin. When was Dr. Blythe's Babylonian stone tablet stolen?
It's been about 3 weeks now.
So before her flight at Dover.
It was before the flight at Dover. Yes.
Okay. I gestured towards Edgeworth. A strange tablet with several glyphs or runes upon it. Did you see
Describe it
anything
in
like
more
that?
detail.
Yeah, I leave it to him to tell.
And yes, she can tell you that he did have such a thing.
He did in the Church of Starry Wisdom.
He did, but that was weeks ago.
So
We have
the thing is,
our man.
she doesn't remember for certain when she visited. So it's possible
after
that the
Dover.
Enzilu tablet, the one that left Dr. Blythe's apartment, is currently located in Reverend Brown's office.
That's priceless, right?
Yeah,
If we
it's
alert
one
the
of a
Bow
kind.
Street runners to this and we get her to tell them she saw it there, could they raid the place?
Maybe they tend to
Maybe.
be unwilling to take on Little Vicar or Old Vicar Lane, given
Okay,
the
okay.
number of. Yeah, remember the Bow Street Runners have limited manpower.
Yeah.
As far as they know, Reverend Brown doesn't.
Is there
He has a
anybody
village.
we could
He has a village.
Okay.
It might
So,
come down to
This is just in my head. This is just me thinking, like, yeah.
But she thinks.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, she's describing a tablet. She doesn't know what it said. She doesn't read that
No,
language.
but it's
So
there.
it's possible it's possible it's not the same tablet,
Oh, that's true.
but there's good odds it is. How many
Babylonian
stone?
tablets are running around London.
It could be a fake. It could be a copy. It could be just something that looks
actually-
kind of like it. That
Actually, there are a few.
Okay,
The British
okay.
Museum has a share of them.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
safe to say that if he has about an ancient tablet in
It's
it
probably
would be of
that.
some interest to our investigation at the very least.
Yeah.
Oh,
Question is how to
shit.
get her.
Yeah. I'm not saying any of this, Kevin. This is just thoughts going through my head of like, can we get some help?
Yeah.
Is there anybody we can find that'll help us with this? No, not anybody who has any kind of legitimate right to just hit that place. So,
No.
Yeah, I mean, all you've got right now is her word that it's there, that it's probably the correct
it's
one.
probably right.
Hmm.
I look towards Edgeworth. I know he's into the occult, right?
Yep.
Edgeworth, any idea what we might be able to do against this terrible thing? And I'm looking and also trying to see where Aunt Lavinia and Rose are, and if they're heading back yet, or if they're still busy and are going to give us some more time.
They are taking their time for the
Great.
purpose of giving you time.
Great. So Edgeworth, is there
For the moment,
anything that could be done to help Miss Delacourt?
staying under a roof seems to be helping. I'm unsure. I'll need to do some more research. Now that we have a thread to draw on, I might be able to find some more specific detail. The question, though, comes to and I will relay the information about the other churches.
Okay. Oh.
St. Anne's isn't the only location of interest now. We also have the main church.
You think the
You've
church in
got
Scotland
There's the church in
hierarchically
Scotland.
is above the church here in London?
Well, I think all three are of interest.
Yes, but currently we're just trying to help Miss Delacourt and find the missing
I
stone.
I'm aware.
Crap, that's way too much
I'm
information to say
putting
in front of her.
yeah. I think threads. But yeah, no, we definitely need to investigate the church. It's the Church of Saint Anne's. We need to figure out a way in there. Whatever has called her this beast down. I feel like there's some kind of connection there to her. Wait, where did she have her experience with the creature?
Dover.
above Dover during the flight.
Near the church.
No, other direction.
No, no.
Yeah.
Did I misremember?
Strathclyde is up where
Although,
Scotland is. And then
yeah,
the other one was in Avon, Annandale.
yeah, Strathvan and
That
Dale.
okay, and that's in Scotland. Are there three
Yeah.
or are there just the two?
There's three sites we're aware of. One is in London, is St. Anne's
Right.
London. One is Strathvan which is St. Owen's. And then one is Maiden Castle,
Where's Maiden Castle?
Dorset County.
Dorset. Okay. Castle County Dorset. Where is Dorset? Is that north?
Um,
Because Dover's south.
But she got blown up. She was blown away for hours, and they lost sight of her.
Right, that she was towards the English Channel. She was heading towards
yeah.
France. Remember, there was
Okay, so Dorset
there was
is
French
actually south.
Dorset is south and west, so she could have passed over Dorset
No.
That's what I'm
on the flight.
thinking.
No, there's no way.
Well, she
Dorset is
was,
like
you're right.
Dorset's like 300 or 400 miles away from Dover. It's 100 miles to Dorset from Dover.
Over to Dorset is 100 miles. She could have. She was missing for several hours, given the wind, the strength of wind.
Could she
It's
have? Is
possible.
that? Oh God.
she
It's
was
possible.
gone for
That,
It's,
that,
she was gone
that's
for
what I'm
what?
thinking.
Almost 8
She
hours
was up 6 hours in the air.
at least.
You said
Yeah.
she disappeared, but she was
She was
back within 45 minutes. They lost sight of the balloon for about an hour, but then they spotted it. But then she was struggling with it
yeah.
for several
And when
other hours.
we also don't know how far away she was when they saw it again,
That's true. We don't know which
and how
direction
far
it came from.
and how far she'd gone in that time. I mean, if that was a hurricane force wind,
God damn, that's a
could she
long
have
way to
traveled,
go in a couple hours. And
could she have gone 100 miles in 1 hour with a wind like that? Possible.
but then it blew her back, blew her all the way back. Okay,
Right. That's something else. Those of
that's
you who have natural.
really
Anyone have natural world above a 25 or greater?
no,
Natural world?
just
Yeah.
base for me.
No.
Oh no, I probably
Okay.
should have put points up at
So,
that.
That's okay.
well, you're welcome to make a natural world roll then.
I will make a natural world roll, but I don't think it's
I'll
gonna.
give one
85. That's
That's a big
impossible.
25. Fail.
Anybody else?
I'm not there, so I didn't hear any.
No, no, no. The other two aren't here
Oh,
with us. They're out watching the fight.
all right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
It's
So,
just the three of us sitting at this table,
yeah. So
talking very hushed
that's,
tones.
could a balloon travel that far in that time?
My character does not think so. Payne does not think that's possible. He has an.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
point
yeah.
is, don't know.
I'm not going to even try to ask her if she would recognize anything from the ground because she was fighting for her life all 6 hours, and so she didn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No. Point is that she could have been in the neighborhood of Dorset. It's possible.
It's strange to get there and be blown back, though, is what
To
boggles
me,
Dr. Payne's
Yes.
mind.
it seems like Miss sorry,
Delacourt?
immediately for Miss Delacourt. To me, it seems like you may have strayed into something through the storm. Unintentionally, you crossed paths with something ancient and monstrous, and that's potentially what gained its attention.
Then what am I to do about it? I've already lost
Remain,
that which was most dear to me. And I understand what you said, Mr. Edgeworth, about this being cover for your investigation. But for me, what's left? I suppose now I'm as well to marry, unless I find a way around this. My career as an aeronaut is finished.
Well, then we should find a way around this.
And then I perhaps can find the courage to resume, but at the moment I cannot. And it seemed to me wiser at that point that I should marry rather than end up old and alone. It wouldn't have troubled me if I had been, could be, was successful in another way. I would have made a life. But now I've blundered into something, as you say, ancient and evil, that's taken this from me.
Miss Delacourt, our interest in this is not purely academic. If there is a way to free you from the attention of this thing, we will find it.
Well,
Of that
then
you have my word.
I thank you very much. And if there's aught that I can do to facilitate that, I will do all that I can. But I must tell you, I do not believe I can confront this thing again, at least alone.
You will not be alone.
Brave heart, Miss Delacourt. We will aid you in this endeavor.
But if you are willing, if you want to try to find the thing again, I she knocks off the rest of the brandy in one sip.
Mm-hmm.
I will chance the ascent again, but I will not do it alone.
We. That might be something we will investigate. And the possibility is there, and I look to Edgeworth, that we might have to do such. But there are other avenues we can pursue first. We must learn the nature of this so-called angel.
Mm-hmm.
And if it can be killed.
And I shall do one thing then that will perhaps be of use in that regard, that I believe I can. I shall explore Miss Blanchard's technology. Mademoiselle Blanchard has been having great success with the use of the parachute.
Oh. Which, have I heard of anything about this? Do I have any clue about the parachute?
Do any of you follow pop culture like that?
Probably not. I read the Times.
I do a lot of reading.
I read newspapers. That's about it.
If you read the newspapers, you would have heard of Blanchard.
And she's made this weird tent-like thing that you can use.
What she does is she actually the parachute is actually attached to the chair she makes her ascent in. And what she does is, in order to make a parachute deployment, she cuts the balloon loose.
God. Okay.
And then deploys, so enters into free fall and then deploys the parachute.
And she survives this?
She's done this several times.
How far has she fallen?
Usually she makes her ascents usually go to between 2,000 and 4,000 feet.
Okay. Then I mentioned that
so
in any event, this parachute, she's French, isn't she? Blanchard.
Yes, she is.
This parachute, as I try to speak French, that I don't know any French, will cover you from the sky as well.
That's
have you tried a parasol?
I've never done such a thing, but she's proved the technology works.
Where is she?
At least,
out of character. Is she in France? Is she in England?
Yeah, she's in France.
Okay. Is the technology available in England?
No, but that's what Helen is talking about.
She's going to start doing research.
She's going to see what it would take to construct such a thing, how it's built, what you need.
All right.
That's something she can do to be helpful.
I tell her I think that's a
Is
genius
in case
idea.
such a thing is wanted, she can start either acquire one by buying it from the French, or learn how it's made and get the materials and workers to make one.
And I also suggest an umbrella or a parasol when she's out. If she's not doing, if I, she didn't have one when she was at the arcade when we were spying the other day. I suggest
No,
that them as a temporary measure.
that's not. I hadn't thought about that, but it's not a bad idea. A little
Um,
something to keep the thing. Although, given the number of eyes an angel has, she's not sure how helpful that's going to be.
I look at Edgeworth again. You think this is an angel, Edgeworth?
I think that there's a lot of truth distilled through mythology and history, through lenses of stories and folklore. What we think, what we are trying to conceptualize of this creature, I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
I believe that
Is
means
it an angel?
no. It's not an angel. Is that what I say to Miss Delacourt?
Mm,
Is it
no,
an angel, or is it what inspired the myth of the angel?
that's what Reverend Brown believed, or at least what he told me. Whether he believed that is a different issue, I suppose.
Yes, Reverend Brown.
It circles back to him as much as any, with Buckwhite being dead.
Did you meet any other of his flock?
Just one, his companion, a man known as Graves. He was the sort of man that if I had the capacity for fear of anything earthbound, I probably would have felt it.
Oh my God.
Mm.
I am super impressed by her. I really like her.
But
Hmm.
I'm, in a ways, I'm past that capacity, which only speaks, of course, to my own madness.
You're not. I don't think she's mad, do I?
To a certain extent, she is. I mean, she's suffering from mental health issues.
Right, but not completely gone like I think Brown
Yeah,
is.
not. Yeah,
Brown looks fucking crazy.
yeah.
So
She's coping as best she can. I mean,
is it?
when you're dealing with here as someone who's got the courage to put themselves in a balloon
Yeah,
and risk their life for out of reputation,
yeah.
who's coping with a thing that's, this is someone with a lot of courage who's really, really scared.
My character's thinking if Edwards doesn't marry this woman, he's a fool. Um,
Also, that.
is it inappropriate for me to pat her hand reassuringly?
No,
Then
that's
I
fine.
do so, and I say, Miss Delacourt, we will help you and find out what this thing is. And if it can be killed, we will kill it.
No,
I happen
one,
to be friends with a master hunter.
and I suppose that if it were truly an angel, we can perhaps recruit Mr. Victorino to wrestle with it.
If need be.
Well, worked for Jacob, did it not?
Indeed.
Aha.
So apparently such a thing can be defeated by a skilled wrestler. Although, as I recall, Jacob didn't exactly win.
Mm.
We will find a way. Jacob also did not have a keen eye and a bullet.
No, but
Many bullets.
he did wrestle the thing to a standstill, as I recall.
Then it should prove an easy target.
Yes. Now, those of you who are not at this
Yes.
conversation,
I'll
you
be right
guys
back.
were
I gotta pee.
were still watching the fights, yes?
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to get, of course, the kind of entertainment you would expect. Nobody here is lasting against Mr. Victorino. This guy is a rock. And the fact is, most of the guests who try last less than 10 seconds. It's really a case of the woman in the costume says, begin, and he lifts his opponent and deposits them outside the ring. Like, this guy is basically deadlifting grown-ass adults
Right.
and moving them outside of the ring just like that.
Yeah.
The only ones who are lasting are ones who understand leverage, which is, say, what Lord Vauxhall did, where he went low to get leverage and kept himself from being thrown right away.
Right.
Whereas others are trying to just match him point for point, stance for stance, and it's just nobody here is going to do that. You will notice a guy we hadn't thought. I don't think we'd seen him. Your friend from the club. What's his face? George Cameron. I remember him.
No, I don't.
He's the guy who sponsored Collins, the new guy,
Okay.
who was also listening in on your conversations. As if he knew something.
Oh,
He's willing to take a try. How's he doing? Not great.
Say no, not good.
Those of you who are watching, though, now you are welcome to make a spot hidden roll. That's the two of you who are watching the fights as Mr. Cameron steps in.
Ooh, that time I think I made mine. Spot hidden. Yes, a regular success.
Okay, and Josh, you there?
I'm here,
Okay.
and I don't make mine.
Okay, with a regular success, you'll notice something as Cameron steps into the ring. What he does is he does this set of exercises. Like, he moves his arms and legs. Like it's never seen anyone do anything like that before. And then when he takes his stance, he extends his right arm. So he places his right arm on Victorino's elbow, but then he steps half a step further back to extend his right arm, as if he's trying to gain a point of leverage. And when Victorino pushes against him, he moves, but his right arm remains locked.
Okay.
Like he's successful in keeping Victorino cannot force him to yield with his right arm. As
Okay.
if he's got all the balance. Then Victorino apparently realizes it and shifts positions, going into it a fall, basically tumbles himself over backward. And when
Okay.
he throws Constance that way, then he gets him on his back and pins him. But that was never seen anyone do anything like that before. So he's got a trick that almost worked. Or actually technically did work for a moment.
Who is this?
Not Collins. I was going to say Collins, but not Collins. The other club member.
The
Oh.
newest initiate
Cam-
to the
Cam-
club.
No, not Collins is the new guy. Cameron is the guy
Oh.
sponsoring it.
Cameron.
Cameron,
Oh, yeah.
the guy who was also eavesdropping on some of your conversations.
No,
So
we weren't
he actually lasts only. He only lasted about 25 seconds. But the point is that Victorino had to change tactics to defeat him because he could not get him to give up with the elbow. Like that right arm of his was just mighty.
Okay.
Also, never seen anyone engage in that kind of pre-match exercise. The way he moved his arms and legs, took a moment to, I think, maybe meditate. And he was clearly engaged in some pre-fight ritual. Like the kind of thing people do when they stretch and get ready, get their game face on.
Right.
That kind of thing. And he goes away looking disappointed. Like he really thought that was going to go better. He really thought he was going to win.
Okay. Yeah, I might stop him as he's walking away and ask him like what he did there, because like I'm interested in the tactics of all this fighting. That's what has my peak interest. I may not want to necessarily fight myself, but it's strategic.
Oh, Mr. Illingsworth, he says, I did not see you there.
Yeah, I probably just came out of nowhere. In all honesty, that's how tactful my guy is.
Yeah, and he was going over to talk to a woman you don't know, and you've sort of gotten his way.
Yeah.
She waits a moment, and in answer to your question, he says it's a yogic technique.
A what?
Yogic. It's it's an Indian practice among the Hindu called yoga. It takes advantage of the flows of energy within the body.
Interesting. Where did you learn such a thing?
In India.
Oh, you were in India.
7 years in the foreign service.
Ah,
Mm.
I see.
Near Rajapur.
Okay. Well, I'll let you get on with it then.
And then it's something. Then you catch something. The woman he's waiting to speak to She's
Is
Indian.
Indian. Okay.
And her gown is not a conventional ball gown. It's something more like a sari.
Okay. I may have confused her for the staff or something at some point in time then, and yeah.
Yeah, well, especially given her outfit, it's not. You could have
Right.
mistaken it for a costume if you didn't
Right.
realize it was an expensive sari.
Right. So, and yeah, and then I bashfully back away, and like I'm probably a little
Okay.
befuddled at this and maybe coming to realization with it, but yeah, and I
Yeah.
back away and let him go on about his business then.
Okay. You'll see him. He goes over to the woman and
Oh, actually,
exchanges.
I'm not even going to pay attention to them anymore. Like,
Okay.
he's
So
probably a little embarrassed.
Pay
by this
attention.
situation.
that's where
I
he's going.
should, but all right.
Are you?
Anyway,
Did you?
I guess I might glance over at some point in time.
Okay. What you'll notice is that the Indian woman is not the only Indian here.
Okay.
There's a man who she's clearly with.
Oh, okay.
Uh, he's wearing a military uniform, covered
Okay.
with medals and campaign ribbons and whatnot. Which is to say, given his outfit, he's probably a local king from somewhere in India. Who the hell else
Okay.
would dress like that?
Yeah. All right.
So he's probably one of those kings who, in reality, is a middle manager for the British East India Company.
Right. Okay.
But technically, he's a king. Realistically,
Right.
he's a middle manager.
Yeah. He's the highest person or highest political figure that is allowed of an
Native.
He's
yeah.
he's probably
yeah.
he's probably a king in a very real sense. The point is
Right.
that the reason he gets to stay a king is because the British East India Company's guns and money.
Yeah.
Right.
He keeps the East India Company happy by keeping product flowing. They keep him in power with guns and money.
Right. Yeah. All right.
So don't know the guy, but clearly he does. Mr.
Okay.
Cameron clearly knows him well. The two of
Okay.
them exchanged a informal greeting, the kind you find between friends.
Okay.
And at another point when you're crossing paths, he refers you to hear Cameron introducing him to Mr. Collins as Rajit. Not by title, but by first name. Which is to say, he considers this man a close friend. You wouldn't address someone like that unless they were like practically a brother. So he considers this man his brother from another mother, as it were. Now, Mr. Baker, I believe you have a turn in the ring.
So it begins.
Yep. So your time period will come up. I don't know if any of the rest of you are out there to see this.
I'm gonna. Rose doesn't really care. Does she want to go back and watch?
No, not particularly.
Then we're gonna stick with Delacour and Edgeworth and Lavinia, and just
Okay.
make chit chat once those two return.
Okay, so Mr. Baker then will step into the ring. Your opponent is looking very little the worse for wear, I hate to say it. You'd hoped by this point he'd be beaten down a bit.
At least a little tired.
He does not look tired. You'll take a stance, put your hand on his shirt, he on yours. Put your hand on his elbow, and he on yours as well. And then there's that woman again, who tells you when to begin as soon as when you're ready. You're basically acknowledging that both of you are ready. And then you should make yourself a fighting roll.
Okay, here goes.
Maybe you're the one who gets lucky. Yeah.
Let's go 01.
You're going to need
Pick
no
one.
one, I think.
Pick one.
Because that's, I believe, an extreme success for Mr. Vittorino.
Wait, he rolled a 1?
No, he rolled a 14.
Oh,
I don't know,
I
math.
actually rolled a 15. So, what does that mean?
Yeah, so you have a hard success,
What's your brawl?
I believe. No, you don't. You have a regular
It's
success.
25. That's a regular success.
Regular.
And he got an extreme.
Yeah, it's 16. Well, hang on a sec. It would be 16. What do I have there? 14. Yes,
You
he
got a
has
14. It'd be 70%, I believe.
Yeah, except he's at 80%.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is his job, wrestling. Yeah. As it turns out, you will be among those who will not last the full 5 seconds. You will get grabbed, levered up into the air, and deposited unceremoniously on your ass outside the ring. On the other hand, you do get a respectable round of applause.
Do you do it with
You're not the
style?
Well, that's the point. Is you're not the first. You're by no means the first person to be defeated that quickly. But you've demonstrated the courage to step into the ring against a guy who's already taken out 9 other opponents.
I was wishing to survive at least past 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was the plan. Except you start with your hands on your opponent, which means he had to do nothing except lever you upward, take 2 steps forward, basically, and basically chuck you. And yeah, he's strong enough. You realize he picked you up, like lifted your body weight with his arms, like basically did a curl with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, fun fact: I once, many years ago, saw a guy do that for real. Like I was at a show, and a guy basically bounced into another guy, and the bouncer came down. He grabbed the dude who had started the fight with one hand by the shirt and curled him. Like he lifted a human being, a full-grown man, with one arm. And everybody else was like, "Okay, nobody fucks with Superman."
Right.
I want to know this
Superman works
guy.
here.
I want to hire
Yeah,
him.
didn't know Superman works here, but we are done fucking with that guy. Because holy crap, it's that kind of strength we're talking about. He uses 2 hands, but still, he lifted your body weight up.
What's his name?
Victorino.
It's 2 words. Victor.
No, Victorino, one word.
Victorino.
Oh, Victorino. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Victorino. We haven't heard his first name.
I bet he could take out Mr. Graves.
That's a match I would like to see. If Mr. Graves is as big and strong as people say he is, here's a guy who could probably take him pound for pound.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk to this guy at some point in the evening.
Yeah, the problem with that, by the way, is that it's one of the things you'll pick up eventually in your time in Limefield, or
Limehouse.
Yeah, in Limehouse. Mr. Graves also carries a knife.
Oh, that's okay.
So not only is he big and strong, he also is handy with a knife.
I could talk to Mr. Victorino this evening at some point, couldn't I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to make his acquaintance at the very least.
So at this point, the fights will finish, and now on to the acrobats.
Ooh, does Rose want to go watch the acrobats?
That she does, and that a lot of people are going to want to see. Have you ever seen what they call Chinese acrobats? They do a lot of
contortion.
They do a lot of contortion. They do a lot of human pyramid stuff.
Oh yes, I have. I've seen some. Not a lot.
It's that kind of performance.
So I bid farewell. I tell Edgeworth that we're going to go outside, and we'll see him shortly.
Yep.
We'll go watch the acrobats.
Yeah, and that's, if you enjoy that sort of thing, it's cool. And if you don't, they may make you a fan because it's kind of cool. Like they do contortion things. They form an inverted human pyramid at one point with like 3 guys on top and one guy holding everything up. They do tumbling routines. They do things where one guy gets lifted up and thrown in the air and then caught.
They jump around. They all of them moving at once, making weird patterns and stuff, and
yeah, stuff like that. But
nice.
it's and for your characters, it's something most of you've probably never seen before. So this is a real kind of eye-opening experience. Like people can do that. It's one of the things you watch people do. Like you didn't know people could do that with their bodies.
Yeah, I didn't think the body bent that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the sky as well. Every once in a while, I'll glance up there.
A spot hidden roll will help with that.
Oh God, my spot hidden's not great.
I'm not aware to look at the sky,
by the way,
no, we haven't actually talked to y'all since all this has occurred. We're gonna have to info dump. No, 67 out of 25. That's a big old fail.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, just to interject, we've also been playing for 2 hours. If we wanted to have a break soon.
Oh yeah. When do we want to wrap up to? I was figuring about 11.
I'm good with that.
That works for me.
Okay, so do we want to take a break, or do we just want to roll through to 11 and then call it a night?
Well, we should resolve. Andy's role.
Okay.
Resolve what? My role? I failed.
You already did. Yeah, and what I was going to point out was most people are looking at the acrobats, not the sky.
Yeah, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
glancing up there every once in a while to see if I can see what Rose saw.
Yeah. A better time to do that probably is the third act. Do we
Oh
want to
yeah,
take? Do we want to take a break, or do we want to just roll on?
I'm good with rolling on. I've already gone. I went to the bathroom while the wrestling happened.
I'm fine for either way.
Let's just
Okay,
keep
then let's
going.
just,
Let's push on to
okay,
11 and then finish up then.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Because the third act is a high wire act. So there, people are going to be looking up.
Oh no.
Two two poles have been set up with posts like a telephone pole has for climbing. And Mr. Harriman will introduce Mr. Gambischler, who is the high wire artist, who's also wearing an elaborate costume, who is apparently going to do things on a wire 20 feet above the ground. And of course, people are watching this with some anticipation. There's always that anticipation which comes with watching something where someone might get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sort of instinctively awful human tendency to focus on things where you could watch someone get hurt.
People are the worst.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't fall, but secretly, I hope he falls.
you hope he does.
Then I have to go to
let's
work.
let's face it. Most people who turn into things like NASCAR are watching for the crashes, not the actual
Oh,
race.
NASCAR's only worth it for the crashes, though.
Isn't that why people watch it?
Sorry,
Otherwise,
NASCAR fans.
Otherwise, it's just billboards going in circles.
But really, if I think you pay it, well, I hope I don't offend anyone here. I hope no
Offend.
one likes NASCAR. But
I'll go right ahead.
it pretty much just seems to be an excuse to drink for most fans. So
Yeah, probably that too. But
it has nothing to do with the race. It's just a reason to drink.
I always figured it had a lot to do with the idea that crashes will happen and people will enjoy that.
Yeah, there's that too. But most of the people that I've hung around with that really like NASCAR never paid attention to the race and they just drank. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, those of you who are watching the high wire act, so Mr. Gambischler will climb up to do his thing, and Mr. Harriman down there is explaining what he's going to do.
Gambischler.
Gambischler is the high wire guy.
Thank you.
That he's going to walk across the wire. He's going to juggle while standing on the wire. He's going to do, and then he's going to conclude his act by doing an acrobatic flip. Where he's going to flip himself all the way over and land again on the wire. And of course, people are excited by this idea.
I'm not.
Okay, well, many people are excited. Most people here are excited by this idea. It seems like it's going to be a
flip, fall, break a leg.
He's a doctor. He's like picturing all the.
Oh yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. All of the awful things, all the awful ways this could go wrong.
Right.
This could kill this. 20 feet is pretty high if you land wrong.
Oh yeah. Now it is grass below him.
Right, but still, you land on your head or your neck. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, there is a non-zero chance he could die.
It's not that soft.
I don't have my medical kit or anything at this party, so.
Worth pointing out as well, though, you'll notice Mr. Cameron, who is standing at the back, and as everyone else's attention, well, that's why you'll notice this.
Yeah.
As everyone else's attention turns to the wire and to Mr. Harriman's presentation, of course, there's a performance. The whole art of performance that goes with it. And Mr. Harriman then introduces the same woman who was starting the wrestling bouts, who now has a drum. I mean, you need a drum roll for this sort of thing, right?
Oh, she's actually.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I thought just boom, 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 boom. Oh, you said a drum. That was the first thing I thought of.
I mean, you need a drum roll before things like this happen. Of course you do.
What's Cameron?
Someone's got to bring the drum.
What's Cameron doing?
Mr. Cameron takes from his coat pocket a telescope. It's a small one. And he's looking as if he's watching the high wire act. Is he really?
I don't know. I'm gonna slip over towards him. He's focused, right? I don't have to make a stealth check, right? The people are all noisy around us, right? Because my stealth sucks too.
Everyone is looking up, as it were.
Where is he looking? I want to see where he's looking.
That's an excellent question.
Crap. Is Illingsworth anywhere where I can get his attention, or Baker? I know Edgeworth's busy with his new girlfriend.
I don't know. Are either of you guys near the back? Is anybody near the back of the crowd?
I'm probably leaning more towards the back.
Okay, and
Like I
Mr.
said.
Baker? Where are you?
Baker.
Mr. Baker, where are
sorry.
you?
Baker.
I'd. I guess I'd also be by the back.
Okay, so-
nursing my ego.
So I can get their attention and point at Cameron.
And Mr. Edgeworth, are you also near the back?
Edgeworth is
I'd
inside
stay-
with Delacourt.
I'd stay with.
Oh, yeah, so you're
Delacourt.
very much at the back. So, yeah, most of you are at the back of the crowd, which means most of you actually will see what Mr. Cameron has done. He then passes the telescope to Collins, who's right next to
There's
him.
Collins.
And the two of them are apparently watching something.
Can I get close
Well,
enough
look-
to get an angle and see what the hell they're looking at?
Oh, yeah. Now you can make a spot hidden roll with advantage.
Oh, advantage. Sweet.
This is true, by the way, of any of you who want to sneak up behind them and do this. The nice
I'm
thing
not
is
gonna
it's a
sneak
crowd of
behind
anyone.
anyone.
It's a crowd of jostling people. So
it's
moving
E.
behind someone
Yeah.
attracts no attention.
I have a whopping 25% chance with a bonus die. Boom. Damn it. 59 is my best.
still
99
won't do
was
it.
my worst. At least I didn't
Anybody else?
stumble into them.
Sorry,
Even if
the
you did,
computer
people
was
are moving
dying,
around.
so I briefly had to pop away.
Oh, that's
What are we
okay.
doing?
I went near Cameron. If anybody else is kind of trying to get over there to try to figure out the angle that he's looking at, you can get a
What's
spot
he-
hidden and it with a bonus die.
Yeah, what's he looking at with the telescope?
There's a lot of people around. People are jostling, so it doesn't require stealth checks or anything like that to kind of get in there
Yeah.
and try to figure the angle
mean,
out.
heck,
I
if you-
can't.
if you-
I'm looking way off to the right.
If you did bump into him, all you need to do is say, "Excuse me." It's not like people aren't bumping into each other, because remember, everybody's looking up, not where they're standing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a hard roll for spot hidden.
Good.
Okay.
All right. I don't
Oh,
have
thank God somebody got it.
Okay, and did anybody else succeed at that?
Edgeworth is still inside. He's not out here.
You're
Wouldn't be in
okay.
position.
So, Mr. Baker, you have earned yourself a sanity roll.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, if you get 5 points, if you lose, if you go get a bout of madness, you get 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos.
So it just reminded me I'm rolling under my sanity,
Yes.
Equal to or under?
equal to.
Yes. So, throw equal to your current result as a success.
Baker starts screaming, running in circles.
Yes, I rolled a 10.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And what's your current sanity?
Nice.
60.
Oh, so is that an extreme success?
10, no.
Yes.
It's a hard success. No, yes, it is extreme. He's 12 or
It is.
less.
So you won't actually lose anything then with an extreme success.
And you still get to
which-
look at the monster.
There is definitely something up there. With a hard success, you can't, given the lighting, you can't get a really good look at it, but the way it moves in front of one star and then another implies that it doesn't fly. It has what appear to be wings, but winged creatures tend to fly in lines. This thing moves in a kind of wandering pattern, as if the wings are there for show. Like, as if gravity has failed to notice it, and it goes wherever the fuck it pleases.
Or it's more like a butterfly's pattern, how a butterfly's always shifting and sporadic.
That could also be an explanation, yeah. It's large enough that it blocks out a star or two each time it moves. Although it's
Star
hard to
or
be
two. Ooh, that's
it's hard to be certain whether it's simply that large or it's closer than you want to admit. In other words, the
That's
parallax issue here, you can't tell
Yeah.
since you have no sense of scale.
'cause
Not sure
everything's
whether it's
dark.
simply that large, yeah. And
Yeah,
there's nothing
it's all
else in the sky.
shadows. Yeah, it's all
If there were-
shadow.
Yeah. In a modern sky, there's other things to look at sometimes that'll give you a sense of perspective.
How long are...
Here, there isn't.
The more I look at this, do I get the sense that it's starting to notice me?
It's you would expect it is, except then you realize it's not looking at you. is looking at the two men with the telescope. They were expecting to see it. That's why they have the telescope.
Can I see from where I'm standing that I can tell they can see what I'm seeing? Are they just as flabbergasted?
Oh no, they pass the telescope one to the other. In other words, they are seeing exactly what they expected to see.
How long
And
are they looking through this telescope?
this will take place during basically the entirety of the High Wire Act.
Can I push my roll by repositioning myself slightly and trying to get a better angle on where they're looking?
Yeah,
I don't
that'll
want
give
to.
you another spot.
I don't want to do it, but Dr. Payne really
That'll
wants
give you
to try
that'll
to
give you another spot hidden roll.
just a regular spot hidden.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
and Mr. Baker, you are also welcome to make a listen roll because you are right behind Campbell and Collins.
Okay.
No, 45. I still can't see anything.
Yeah. You will bump them,
Oh, I
but
bump them?
that's yeah, and they're like,
Oh, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
pardon
Me.
no big, no
Oh.
biggie.
Pardon me,
I
Collins.
just rolled a 5 for listen, so
You'll get basically the entire conversation where Campbell is saying to Collins, "You
They're
see it then?
talking.
Yes, as expected. Yes. So it does what you think it does. Absolutely, sir. So let me understand this," says Collins. "It will do as you please." "No," says Campbell, "not precisely, but well
Cameron.
enough." Oh, sorry, Cameron. "Well enough." "How do you mean?" "Well, you think of it as an elephant. Intelligent in its own way, with a will and a mind of its own, and yet influenceable by those who understand what such a thing thinks. And you understand what it thinks?" "I do." "And you expected it to come to this place tonight?" "Absolutely." "Now watch." And when he says that, "Now watch," that's when the crowd does this kind of gasp of horror.
Oh, no.
Those of you who are watching, you guys, and I expect nobody else, Mr. Kambishlan is going to do his flip. And he steadies himself and, of course, looks upward. And there's the thing, it's clear he saw it. Because he executes the flip, hits the wire, not with his feet, with his body, bounces, makes himself a agility roll, or sorry, dex roll, to avoid falling entirely. He succeeds,
Shit. Oh,
and
thank
grabs the cable and is holding on to it. And of course, the crowd gasps like one of those, like that, when they realize what just happened. You guys in the back of the line there, you understand why it just happened.
All of us do, or just Baker?
I think just Baker. He's the
Just
only one that
Baker. He's the only one who's
Yeah.
really in tune
So-
with this. I was trying to find it, hear the gasp, and look down to see the dude hanging on the wire, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh!
saw it.
who
And
in
at
our
this
party
point,
is closest to me?
Say that again?
Who in our party
probably either Illingsworth or Payne.
I
Probably
think
both.
I bumped into those guys, excused myself, and took a few steps away. I didn't hear their conversation.
Yeah, because he was very close, then took a few steps away. Mr. Illingsworth was nearby and is still nearby. So both of them are probably within a few steps of you.
I step within and try to whisper to them. The gents at the telescope, they know of this creature. They can see it. They think they can control it.
wait, what creature?
I'm
Now
watching.
I'm really starting to watch now.
I'm watching the dude on the wire.
Yep.
How's he doing?
A spot. So, Mr. Illingsworth, you can make another spot hidden roll. Mr. Harriman has summoned circus people,
Oh, thank God. Okay.
and what he's doing is he's trying to move. Then they come up with a better plan. Here come the acrobats.
Yes! Go,
I just
Chinaman!
I just rolled an extreme success for my spot hidden.
Oh, good. You win yourself a sanity roll as well.
Yay!
Yay!
Damn it! I want a sanity roll.
And you can
And
see it now.
I made a hard success on my sanity check.
Okay, you'll still lose 1 point,
Okay.
Go.
but you'll get a good look at the thing too. As indicated
Yeah,
before,
I probably let out an audible gasp like a full minute late of everyone else's gasp. So
What are the?
yeah, because it definitely flies, and the thing is, it got closer, which means now you get a sense of how big it is.
Oh no!
Because when Gambishler fell, it came down a bit as if it was watching closely.
Let's eat him.
And by the way, you can see the two gentlemen with the telescope smiling, like they expected that to happen. Was that a test? Did they just want to see if they could pull it off?
I'm not looking at them anymore.
I think it was. And that gets it close enough that you get a sense of it. It is probably about the size of an elephant.
Oh, we're gonna have to get bigger guns.
It has some appendages that hang down from below. Are those legs? It definitely has wings. And you can't get a good look at whatever it's going to use, whatever it's currently using for a head.
Does it have
But probably,
it? Maybe.
I think. It's got something that's moving that could be mistaken for a trunk if you were squinting. Perhaps that's where it keeps its head. If it has one. Apparently it's not obligated to have a head.
How are the acrobats doing?
They're doing great. Because what they do is they form, you know how they catch people who go jumping up in the air?
No.
Well, you know,
Oh, yeah.
have you seen cheerleaders do this where they throw people up in the air and catch
Yeah,
them?
and yeah.
That's what they're about to do. So
Okay.
basically the acrobats come running out and they form a circle below where Mr. Gambishler is. The idea is he's going to drop down and they're going to catch him.
All right, I'm gonna push my way as politely as possible towards the scene in case he gets injured.
Yeah, they and the truth is they've got, once he calms down enough to realize what they've done, he knows what to do. And he's a trained acrobat too. He knows how to go limp and take a fall. So he knows how to be the guy who gets caught, not just the guy who does the catching, which means they will be able to get him down safely.
Did I hear Baker talk about those guys? They were looking at it, or was that just Illingsworth?
I'm
Did
pretty
you
sure
tell
it
that
was
to both of them?
Illingsworth, but I'll
I don't know
tell
how
you
close together we were.
If I spot you, I'm gonna point him out to you as well.
Well, I headed straight down.
Yeah.
Towards
So I
this
think you might
action in
have
case
missed
there
him.
was an injury.
Yeah, because he's moved forward in case his skills are needed, in case Gambishler got hurt.
Yeah, that was my fear, and I never
Yeah.
saw anything. You lucky guys get to see the monster. I still don't know what it looks like.
I don't know what it really looks like. There's definitely something up there, though.
It's awful dark.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad it was so dark.
Oh, yes, there's definitely something up there.
So they got him down.
Yeah. He basically drops about, given the light he's holding from, he basically drops about 10 feet.
Okay.
And they catch him. And then set him down safely.
I'm
So
going to try to get to him and tell him I'm a doctor and ask him if he's all right.
You'll be able to push to the front. And,
Okay.
Announcing that you're a doctor, people will let you through.
Okay.
And when you get to Mr. Gambishler, they set him down on his feet, he stands up, and he's speaking a language you don't understand. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Do you understand Italian?
No. I might recognize it. I speak... no. I do know Latin, so I might, recognize that it's Italian, but that's about it.
Yeah, but he's speaking in rapid-fire, panicked Italian.
Is there anybody around
he may have answered you.
Right.
For all the good that does.
Is there anybody around who is in charge of this whole thing?
Mr. Harriman.
Is he nearby?
Oh yeah.
What's he saying? Is what I'll say to Mr. Harriman, because he's been speaking English.
Yeah, he says something about a monster. He says he was threatened by a monster. Does that make sense to you?
Oh.
Or
dear. That's all I say. Pushed. Tell him he's among friends. He's fine. If you speak to him.
And he does.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Mr. Harriman is now translating.
I'm just trying to
And
calm
so
him down
Gambischler will, eventually Gambischler will calm down and remember that he's in England.
and start speaking English.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, he panicked. He panicked in his native language.
Yeah, my character has no fucking clue what just happened, except that
Yeah,
something he freaked out
he
about
was-
something and he messed up his foot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when he panicked, he reverted to the language he's most comfortable in. English is a learned language
Right.
for him. Italian is where he's
I'll
from.
just try to calm him down. Is that another reassure? I'm not
You
very
may want to let
good.
some others do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may want
I'll
to let the others have a go at
the
that.
translator. I'm gonna say I'll try to calm him down. Tell him he's safe. It's safe.
That's what he's doing. He's
Okay,
explaining
excellent.
in Italian.
Great. That's
what he told. All he told you was that Mr. Gambischler claimed that a monster
Yep.
pushed him.
Yep. I'm looking in the skies. Oh yeah. Is there a monster up there?
You're welcome to one more spot hidden roll.
I'll take it.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't moved. You've been inside the whole time, right?
I heard the gasp of the crowd.
Oh, 9!
Yeah, I
I
know.
succeeded! Holy crap!
Good. You get a sound roll too.
Oh
Did you
no!
react when the crowd gasped?
Me?
Give that a moment. Give that a moment's thought. Let me check the sound roll. Give that a moment's thought.
Sand rolls and fail. 80. Oh, great.
Oh, good.
Spot hidden. I get a check off though.
So,
Hi. First failed sand roll.
woo!
It's 5
Uh,
points.
We're about to find out.
I have to do.
uh,
Oh, I see it. So I see it clearly, right? Like,
One.
holy
You lose
shit.
one.
I lose 1.
Yeah.
Did I
rolled a
see
one,
it?
damn it.
No, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Same thing. You saw the same thing that Mr. Illingsworth saw.
Tentacles hanging down below, wings that don't actually flap. There's no
Yeah.
head that I can make out, but maybe a tentacle in the front or a trunk. Okay.
Yeah. It's either a trunk or a tentacle coming from the front where the head might be.
No.
It has lower appendages, although it's hard to count them,
Right.
that we're going to call legs for the moment.
Right.
Although it's hard to tell if they're actually legs until it lands and
Is
stands
it
somewhere.
landing?
No.
Oh, okay.
It apparently satisfied. It now flits off into the night.
So I just caught a glimpse of this thing.
Yeah.
It's
It's
explaining why I
currently-
lost only 1 point of sanity.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's clear, it's real, and it's leaving.
And it's gone away.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, did you react when the crowd gasped? Because you were inside, away from everybody else.
I would have stood up and
Okay.
tried to take a look at the crowd, but then I would have looked back at. I wouldn't have left Miss Delacourt.
Okay, so you
Aw.
saw the tail end of it, saw the crowd gasp, and then you'll hear people feeling, talking about what just happened, and you'll quickly learn that Mr. Gambischler fell, and that he is okay.
Oh dear.
So you missed the other part of it, but you do learn that part, that whatever happened, nobody got killed.
Hmm.
Apparently, the Chinese acrobat saved him.
I'll would Miss sorry, would
Delacourt?
Lavinia be back at this point?
Yes.
In that case, I'll make sure that like Lavinia and Delacourt are together, and then I will go out to try and find the rest of the group and get a sort of a
Okay.
bit of an update as to what happened.
No problem.
But making sure first that Delacourt is safe.
Yeah, she's got Lavinia for her company, so you can make your way out into the crowd. People are milling around, uncertain as to what to do. I mean, at the one hand, it's a bad thing happened at a party. On the other hand, everyone is okay, so maybe it's okay to keep partying.
Where's
So
Vauxhall?
there's this sort of Lord Vauxhall is making a round of the crowd now, basically reminding people these things happen. It's okay. No one was hurt. Let's continue the festivities. In fact, he says, we might even have one more act this evening.
That's what I was looking for him for, to do the mesmerism and try to get people back on track with the party.
Well, that's kind of exactly what he's thinking.
I spot him,
So-
so that's why I'm heading directly for him.
Yeah, and
As
of course,
As I walk out, who do I see first? Illingsworth, Baker, or Payne?
whichever one you prefer, honestly.
Ooh.
Depends on which angle you take.
Let's say Baker. I look
Okay.
out, I see Baker, and I start approaching him. Uh, what's happened?
Get back inside. The thing is up there. We've seen it.
That's
Here?
awesome, dude. That's so awesome.
Mhm.
Cryptic and terrifying.
Yep.
I might try to make my way back to these two at some point in time if I
Okay.
see
So you'll.
Dr.
So,
Fletcher heading
yep.
up
So,
or whatever.
Dr.
so
Payne.
you'll.
Everyone's going.
Payne.
Yep. So
Dr.
you'll
Payne, I'm
find.
Everyone's
sorry.
going
Yeah.
out. Everyone's going in. I'm coming out.
Yep.
I'm not coming in. I'm just meeting up with my friends to discuss what I've
Okay.
witnessed.
So you'll find Edgeworth and Baker together. You'll
Yeah.
basically come up on them
Edgeworth.
right after that line about what was it about? It's here. Everyone go
It's
back
here.
inside.
Yeah.
It's here.
Oh, yeah. Like, I may have caught just the tail end. It's like, yes, I saw it. And I
Yeah.
explained what I saw. So,
God, man, tell me everything.
Okay. So you're telling him what you heard or what you
yep.
saw.
What I saw, like my side of it. So, yeah. Wings that don't appear to flap. Definitely have some sort of legs and maybe a trunk or a tentacle coming from its face. And
Gosh.
possibly as large as an elephant?
Well, she did say she described it in part as like a horse or an elephant. Maybe
They
that's
weren't.
that's
They
a
weren't there.
misprint.
Neither one of
Okay,
them was there for
I
that.
Oh,
wasn't
that's
there.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Only
I was
Edgeworth
writing
and
that
I
out.
were there for that for her description. We haven't
Hmm.
related that. We're
Yeah.
going to relate that as soon as we can
Yeah, that
meet over
I will
much,
relate.
much brandy.
I
Yeah.
will. I'll say that lines up with what Miss Delacourt described. Why was it here? For
Oh,
her?
was Dr. Payne able to hypnotize her?
No, she
Not
gave it
yet.
of her own free will.
I
Turns
haven't.
out if you just ask,
I
if you
haven't told
actually just
any of them
ask
about.
women what's upsetting them, they'll tell you.
I haven't told anybody about Vauxhall and the mesmerism that I've arranged to do mesmerism. I totally forgot.
Yeah, and
I
that's
haven't
about to happen.
mentioned that to anybody yet in the
Yeah,
group. Sorry. I'm
it's
sorry,
crazy.
guys.
It's
Whatever.
crazy, Illingsworth. If you just treat a woman like a human being and ask her what's upsetting her, she'll just tell you.
That's
Really?
madness. That's crazy. You're a crazy person.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not
and by
there.
the way, servants are now taking the ropes from the boxing ring down
Hmm.
so that you'll have a stage for the mesmerism show.
Oh, ooh. Am I okay being outside?
Uh,
Do I feel like somebody's watching me? I'm still out there.
oh, well, you saw it fly away, right?
I did see it fly away.
But
Do I?
probably won't come back, right?
Do I have a feeling? Am I? I know what's his face. Buck White and Miss Delacourt are like terrified of being outside. Am I
Yeah.
feeling any of that? Like something's coming for
That's
me.
how you're feeling about that is up to you.
Okay, I'm
I
not.
mean,
I only lost a point of
you
sanity.
know for a fact it's up there.
Oh, it took off. It's gone.
Yeah,
It's probably
which
went to
is
bed. It's late.
yeah. Maybe
Where
went
does
to wherever the
Vauxhall?
fuck things like that come from.
I suggest to Vauxhall that inside is a better place for this kind of thing, where people can sit and have some drinks and sit around, as opposed to outside. But it's up to him. It's his party. It's pretty
Okay,
much how I
inside is fine.
present it.
We can use the salon for that purpose then.
That's going to work better. Yeah.
And
So
admittedly, some people were kind of turned off by what happened again, Bichler, and there are a few people who are calling it an early night,
okay.
and he's not loving it, but he's not blaming them either.
Yeah, that was pretty scary.
Yeah, it was.
So
So some people are making their exit at this point.
instead of our plan to try to hypnotize Delacourt, obviously that's out the window now. But I'm just going to do a demonstration of mesmerism, noting that someone with as strong a will as Lord Vauxhall would probably not be able to be mesmerized or hypnotized. Although, if he is willing, that I will try. Um, and certain people are more easily um, mesmerized than others. Are Cameron and Collins still here? Do I see
That's an excellent
them?
question.
Sorry.
All of you, any of you looking for Cameron and Collins are welcome to make a spot hidden roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking around to see if they're still here.
It's true for anybody who was curious.
No, 96. That's a crit fail.
That's exactly what I rolled, but I don't think it's a crit.
It's a crit fail for me. So I see. I don't know
So
what happens with not with a crit fail looking for them specifically.
You don't see them.
Oh yeah, okay. They're not here. They must have. I'm gonna assume they left. They left. They left early after whatever they were
It's
doing with the telescope.
yeah.
So I will
Well,
ask for
some people did leave, so it's
right.
possible that they left
Okay.
without attracting any particular social opprobrium because there were people leaving.
I'll just ask for volunteers if anyone would like to try being mesmerized.
Yep. Did either of you? I'm sorry. Um, what I did not get was a reaction to your line about it's out there. So because people were coming up and doing that, but that was I never heard what Mr. Edgeworth had to say to that line about it's up there, go back inside.
Oh yeah, that's
I did
right.
not get that.
Uh, well, I conferred that it matched
Yeah.
Delacorte's description, and then I gestured back inside with for Baker and Edgeworth. Uh, Baker, Josh, does Baker relate the men who were looking up, expecting the creature?
Did you tell
Yes,
them?
I say that they saw it, and I overheard that somehow they could partially control it.
Roll it.
How how are
Are
they
they
able
still
to do
here?
such a thing? Yeah. Well, that's when I look around or whatever, and I don't see them.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Mhm.
They're not here. They've left.
I don't see them anywhere. You guys could do a spot
Did you
hidden
guys
or
do spot
whatever roll.
hiddens to see if you
Yeah.
saw them?
You
They all
guys are
did.
welcome to make a spot roll to see if you can find the two of them.
Did anybody succeed?
I'll look out across the crowd.
No, yep. No one has so far.
Crit fail. They've left. I'm convinced of it.
52. That's a success.
You do not see them, so
They
it is
have
entirely
left.
likely they have in fact left.
Oh, then I think they're still here somewhere.
Right.
I'm still looking for them.
We
What
do
about
we
Mr. Baker?
recognize them at
Were
all?
you looking for them as well? You know, you're the one who heard them, who overheard all that. Did you want to see if you can still see them here, Josh?
I'll try looking into the crowd and try to point them
Okay.
out.
So far, nobody's seen them, so the implication
Yeah.
is they left.
Yeah, I think they've left. Baker, were you able to recognize them?
Oh well, Mr.
Um,
Cameron and Mr. Collins had a telescope.
it was
Yeah.
those
Cameron,
two.
Mr. Collins.
It was the
Yep.
men with the telescope.
Yeah, Cameron and Collins. They're members of your club.
Yes.
I know. Edgeworth didn't know, but
Yeah. Did you make
that's
the spot hidden roll?
I failed it.
Okay, so none of you have seen them. So between the four of you, consensus, they
Not
probably
me.
left when other people did.
I'm doing the mesmerism demonstration. I'm not with
Yeah.
them. I don't know any of this. What's going on
we
yet?
need to
Okay.
we need to confront them. This is a threat. The game is afoot, gentlemen.
They just all
Yeah.
leave without me. So
But
look
where?
at the
But
watch.
no sense of where they are now, other than they left
No,
the party.
but we know. I mean, the club would most likely have a record of their name of their addresses.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is a
So
thread. So
now, are you
they don't know
sticking
we're
around?
hunting them.
Are you sticking around to see Dr. Payne do his mesmerism thing, or are you guys
Absolutely.
And
leaving?
up now.
Yep.
Go
Because
get him. Go get him.
this Dr. Payne is going to do a demonstration of mesmerism.
Yeah, it's gonna probably take like a half an hour at least.
He will.
Because I'm
Uh,
explaining it, and it's like I'm trying to
yeah.
move it along so it's interesting as opposed to a lecture, and I'm trying to mesmerize whoever's willing to volunteer. Go get him.
Yeah. Say, I'll probably start looking and more frantic, see if they're like leaving the grounds of some kind.
You don't see them here. The implication is that they probably left when other people did, because it would have been the socially easiest way to do so.
Um,
They took it. In other words, they took advantage of an excuse that some people did to say, you know, that whole thing with the guy falling, that was kind of, I think we're done for tonight.
right.
So
Jerks.
they probably joined that line and left.
Yeah, there's probably going to be hard
Hear
to
about-
find them. I don't know where they live.
You don't know where they live. The club does.
Right.
That
Yeah.
is privileged.
Come on,
The
guys.
problem is that's privileged information. You're going to have to either trick, bribe, or steal it from the club.
Money, 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 money. Money always works.
Not always.
Money 99% of the time works.
Well, keep in mind the club's employees, if they're known for lacking discretion, they will not only lose their job, they will be essentially blacklisted.
See if Henshaw's still there. He's a freaking gossip.
That he is. So it's possible to get it out of someone at the club. Money may not help you so much, though, given the fact that it could be a one-time payment in exchange for their permanent employment.
£50. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you give them a lot of money, that's kind of retire on money. That's one thing.
What are you guys
Anyways.
doing? You guys need to make a decision. Are you going to go after? Are you leaving or are you
leaving now,
staying?
Yeah.
I have to stay. I'm committed. Vauxhall will have a fit if I just walk out of here.
Yeah, no, you've committed to
I'm stuck.
doing this thing. How about the rest of
I'm-
you?
I'm fine with going if other people want to go.
That is
I
not an
kinda
answer.
I kind of want to find the two guys with the telescopes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to
Go.
track them down then.
Yeah.
Okay, of the party who's leaving, one of you is going to need to make an etiquette roll
Oh no.
to exit without being attracting negative attention. In other words, when you leave a party when something is going on, it looks bad.
Oh no.
Well, and someone also, of the three of us, someone came with someone too.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Edgeworth.
sure. I'm not sure if Mr. Edgeworth is going
Yeah,
with you or
he
not.
stepped away.
Okay.
We'll have to retro that in, depending on his decision.
I mean, if I can try and make an etiquette roll,
Who-
I guess.
Who's
so.
got the highest etiquette of the two of you?
Uh,
That's the way to
Mine's
go,
not-
right?
Mine's
Yeah.
not great. So
Baker, what's your etiquette?
15?
Is it low? Oh God.
Oh, all right.
You
So
guys
I
all
guess
have suck etiquette. Edgeworth, are you
mine-
going to
Mine's better.
Are you going to hold on? Edgeworth probably doesn't, but might have a better etiquette roll.
Are you leaving with those two, or are you staying to see the mesmerism?
It
show?
requires an etiquette roll because it's rude during the mesmerism.
I
show.
would stay till the end just so that I can update Payne about what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I
so-
don't know what the
So it's
fuck's
just the two of you then. So one of you is going to need to make an etiquette roll.
Illingsworth.
All right.
Is this going to
And I
affect?
rolled a. I made a success.
Yes.
Yay!
Check it off. Check it off.
I am.
We all need to get higher etiquette. We suck. We're
Check it
terrible.
off.
Oh.
No doubt.
Yay.
Uh, well, it's not gonna. Would it matter if I was a hard success?
No, any success will do here.
All right,
Hooray.
I won't burn 1 point of luck to make it a hard success then.
Okay, so the two of you exit one and basically together, and then grab yourself a carriage to take you back to the Mountbatten Club. So you're going directly there.
Well, yeah. I guess I probably would have taken a carriage. So yeah, we'll head right back to the.
Nope.
I mean,
Okay.
that's where I'm staying anyway.
I
so
didn't
have
notice.
Good.
Yeah.
I have good reason to
Failed
head
spotted.
back there anyway.
Yeah. Well, also, if you want to know where Cameron or Collins are,
Right.
their addresses will be known to the club. You're
Well, they're at
probably going to be getting someone to tell you that.
I know where they are. Those sons of bitches.
Hmm.
I know exactly where they are.
Now,
Yeah.
back at the party, meantime, Dr. Payne will now be doing mesmerism. You should make yourself a mesmerism roll. See how
Okay.
well the show goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Anybody who is willing to volunteer, I will try to mesmerize. If it's just one person, that's fine. If it's a few people, we will individually try to mesmerize, either individually or as a group, whatever you think is going to be easiest to deal with. See if I can
your-
make it work.
Your first volunteer is Lady Lucinda Howard.
Oh, okay.
Lady Lucinda is probably one Vauxhall is currently most interested in. She may have put her up.
Oh,
I know
how
how you
sweet.
can- I know how you can get in with Vauxhall now.
No, you love him. Okay, so mesmerism, ba-boom.
Yep.
Damn it, fail 70.
Just saying, get
Can I push this?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want.
So I'm going to also. The watch isn't working, So I'm going to tell her to calm her breath, and I'm going to stare deeply into her eyes. So it's going to take a little bit longer to see if I can put
Yep.
her under.
Yeah.
52. I will spend a point of luck and make it a success.
Okay.
I hate spending luck.
She's not a bad subject, but the thing is, it's hard to do with a crowd of people watching.
Yes.
It's hard to concentrate, and you're trying to
her
be
interest
entertaining.
sways. Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to be entertaining, not just practical.
Right, and I'm not used
So
to
it's
this.
harder than normal. Yeah.
So does it not work then?
Oh, it's working okay by the
Okay.
second go. It takes longer than you wanted.
Yes.
And the
I
point
apologize.
is, in order to be entertaining, you're giving up a lot of the usefulness of it.
Oh, damn.
Because your goal really is to be entertaining to a crowd of people.
Yeah. Instead of the push, can I just claim that her mind is far too strong? And that I'd heard certain things from, instead of being boring? Is that possible, or is it too late to do that now?
No, you want to stick with what you got. So
Okay,
you're
okay.
able to
So
get her under
I get her under.
and get her to do things, whatever you're going to
It's
do.
feats of strength and certain things like that, like putting her arm out and nobody can push it down, and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like I will ask, I'm not going to ask super giant, super strong guy because he might break her fucking arm or pull her out of the. But I will ask Lord Vauxhall. I was like, see if you can press her arm down, that kind of thing. The typical
Yeah.
parlor trick kind of stuff. And I will do anybody else who volunteers. But
And
but after
and the
this, I'll
neat
try
thing
to
about-
speed it up.
And the neat thing about that is, so Mr. Edgeworth, you are in the audience.
Mhm.
You'll catch something interesting among people who are discussing it. Watching the way her arm won't bend, someone pointing out, is that the same trick?
Connor or Collins or
No, not
Cameron.
Collins.
Cameron.
That Mr. Cameron used? And then there's an awareness, because many of you didn't know that he did that trick. Apparently, some people did notice,
I
and
probably
now
didn't hear
pointed out to you that apparently was that what Mr. Cameron was doing, some kind of hypnotic trick, some mesmerism.
That's gonna hurt his reputation.
Oh.
Oh, shame on you, Cameron.
You know, he said he learned it from a yogi.
He
Mhm.
told Illingsworth that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that he learned it from a yogi. But the point is that several people noticed it, and they're wondering now if there's a connection. If what Dr. Payne is doing is similar to what Mr. Cameron was doing.
Mm.
So now the rest of you are aware of the
Fascinating.
fact that he did something that made him unable and kept his arm from bending.
We will be aware once we all info dump to each other
Exactly.
later on. Yeah, and I'll do a couple other. When you push a roll, do you still get a check or not for the
Okay, still
skill?
gonna check.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yay. And then I don't know if you want more rolls for other people. I'm only going to do it as long as people find it
Okay.
interesting and entertaining.
Yeah, one or two people is probably sufficient.
Okay.
It keeps it entertaining. It keeps it short.
Yes,
Then
I
people
definitely want to
can
keep it
move
short.
on to other things. In particular, at this point, there's a fair amount of gambling has begun.
Oh, good. Okay.
So a lot of people are now wandering off to smaller rooms to begin gambling. Some couples are now beginning to take their leave because, couples. So this is the point where people begin finding a little privacy or a game of cards or whatnot. In other words, the party is starting to wind down.
I'm going to try to find a servant and see if
Easy to do.
there's a
Especially those
parasol.
outfits.
There's a parasol that Miss Delacourt could use to protect her from the wind.
Yeah, they can find one for her.
Great. Then I'm gonna find Edgeworth when he is not around her, and give it to
Okay.
him, and tell him to give it to Miss Delacourt.
Good move. And you're looking like a concerned guy who thought of this. Good move. So there's you looking, all sorts of like you're thinking, like
Gonna
guy
get you.
who's thinking.
You're gonna get married soon. Yeah. I better be invited.
Oh,
Doctor, are you playing matchmaker?
Oh, I never meddle in other people's affairs. Oh, that's not true. Just give it to her.
He is
It's
a
a
little.
gentlemanly thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, very
I'm not
much
there.
so. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
not
you,
there.
Doctor. I will take your
You may give me the
advice.
credit for the idea.
Absolutely.
And put a finger side my nose and point to him.
And so with the parasol, escorting Miss Delacourt home is considerably easier. And honestly, by the end of the night, she's feeling a little more confident, knowing
Yes.
that she's not alone in this. Well, that's what you guys did here. I mean, she's aware that there are people on her side, and a lot of it, and you'll get this from her in the carriage ride home, between you and Lavinia. A lot of it was the fact that she was terrified that no one would believe her. That when she told you she'd encountered such a thing, your response wasn't "you're fucking nuts." There aren't
It
such
was
things.
concern for her. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because that is not the response she was expecting. So good on you guys for that. And
We're
one
not.
more thing, though. Well, hold on. One more thing.
Mhm.
The two of you who headed back to the Mountbatten Club. So by the time you arrive, it's close on midnight. That's not to say the club is still not hopping. It is. Okay, it's not really hopping. There's a half a dozen people. A few people are playing billiards. Uh, Mr. Prescott is holding court at the bar. Okay, really, he's alone. He's just, he's just drinking.
I might go up to the
You might get a
bar.
story out of him, though.
Yeah, I might go up to the bar and ask him if Mr. Cameron or Mr. Collins come back for the evening.
Um,
Do do they stay
uh,
here? I
Lester
guess.
Lester is currently behind the bars. He is most nights, and he will tell you that he has not seen either of those gentlemen this evening.
Oh, okay.
They did not come here earlier. He heard they were attending Lord Vauxhall's ball this evening,
I
and
caught
he's
them
not
there.
expecting this evening.
I caught them there. They must have left early. I was just seeing if they happened to come back here. It's no of importance.
No, as far as he knows, they did not. Now it's possible, of course, that they came back and went right upstairs. He's been in the tap room, but
Okay.
as far as he knows, they did not.
Oh no.
So yeah, I might end up walking upstairs or whatever and checking things out a bit. But
Well, you've got a room upstairs yourself.
right. So yeah, I
Uh,
have every reason to be up there.
Mr. Baker, are you with him?
So I know you're going upstairs. I think I best stake out downstairs just in case they either come down or step inside.
Okay.
I'll keep a
Um,
lookout.
the danger of doing that is that you will find Mr. Prescott telling you stories about his time in the armed forces. They are boring, and he is incredibly drunk.
There's so little water. The kind you drink. You couldn't
Yeah.
find it anywhere. So we
So,
looked. We didn't find
yeah,
it on the first day. We didn't
yes, he
find it
was.
on the second day.
Yeah, it's Mr. Prescott has a gift for turning even a war story boring. I mean, it really is a gift. Although I suspect that the amount of alcohol he's consumed has some effect on that. Uh, you are not, however, seeing the two guys you're looking for. You will see Mr. Pitcairn come out of the billiards room, nods to you, and heads for the exit. He's clearly done for the day, looking honestly chagrined. Lester will tell you that Mr. Pitcairn's problem is that he apparently got his ass kicked at billiards.
Again.
Again, he's really thought he's getting better at it. He's not. Or the folks he's playing are simply much better than he is. But yeah, apparently he lost some money at billiards and is not thrilled with himself over that. So there's stuff going on here, none of it particularly relevant. Upstairs,
It's all relevant.
well, no, neither
Ignore me.
Cameron nor Collins is taking a room here.
Yeah.
They both have residences elsewhere in the city, no doubt. Now you've got a room here, so you can sleep here if you want to.
Right. Hmm. Can I try to persuade someone to potentially let me know where either Cameron or Collins lives? Would that be
Probably The problem with that is that's the kind of information that the club keeps very private.
Right.
So to get a club representative or a worker to give that up, you're going to need something. And remember,
Okay.
money may not cut it.
Right.
There's, rep,
That's
there's,
why I was trying
reputation,
to
there's
use
reputation
my.
at work there too.
His
I was trying to
Henshaw.
use my persuade.
Can you actually use your reputation like a skill in that way, or not?
Actually, persuade is better here.
Okay.
Or persuade or reassure.
Has Henshaw been fired yet?
Nope.
Oh, well.
And now that's another thing, of course, is that one better than a money bribe is something like protecting somebody's job.
Oh,
Like
Oh,
if you can pull strings, for instance, to guarantee that Mr. Henshaw does not lose his job,
which he's going to.
that's more effective than simply cash.
well, let's see. I'm trying to remember if I was informed of their conversation. I can't remember if I was or not. Um,
Of
I believe
Cameron
you are,
and
yes.
yeah.
I believe you were the first one Mr. Baker told.
I think I'm the
Okay.
only one
Okay.
that's out of the loop at this juncture.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, could I use the fact that they? Would it be safe to assume that um, we're kind of under the impression that they may have stolen this tablet, and so they may be people of interest in. Okay.
The only ones that know
Right.
the tablets at the Church of Starry Wisdom are Edgeworth and Payne at this juncture.
Oh, that's right.
Because
Okay.
Delacour
And there's
told
no,
us, and so right now
Right.
there's no connection with no
and
specific. Go ahead.
there's also no indication the two of them had anything to do with the theft.
Right.
Right. Okay. Okay.
The
All right.
problem here is they know about the creature.
hmm
We don't know that that's directly connected, and there's nothing to tie them to the theft of the Enzilu tablet,
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
And
So
we
yeah,
have
other than the
I'm.
fact that remember
Yeah.
Delacour
I guess.
went to
Go ahead.
Brown to ask about the creature.
they don't know
Brown is the
that
guy with
either.
the tablet, and I'm not sure if you know that yet
They
either.
don't. They don't. That's Graham. That's Edgeworth and I that know all this information, and we haven't had a chance to actually sit down and actually discuss any of this yet.
Yeah.
Right. So
So there's.
I'm probably not going to push any issue at this moment. I may in the future, but not at this moment. I'm not going to push to find out where they might
And
live
as
or
it's
anything.
yeah, and as it's 11 o'clock, roughly,
Yes.
we've reached, I
Yeah.
think, a good stopping point. Because the thing is, the next day you can get together and share what you know,
Right.
Do you
if you
want?
wish.
Do you want that to already have happened, or are we stopping it in the evening?
We can no, we can move on to the next day.
Okay. So
So
we
you'll
meet.
get your rest on Friday, meet say Saturday for lunch,
That's perfect. And then
and
info dump
share what you
everything.
know. So now everybody will. We don't have to keep track of who knows what. Everybody
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
knows what everyone else wants them to know.
And my thought is,
Mhm.
last night they were at the Church of Starry Wisdom at whatever crazy freaking thing they do on Friday nights.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
that is
and
what that's what Dr. Payne thinks.
Oh.
one
Yeah.
more little thing, by the way. Uh, you actually have the club library actually has some of those texts. In particular, the Vetusta Monumenta series. They're a series of folios published by the Society of Antiquaries, starting in 1790. You guys actually have a complete collection in the club library. Series 3, the Gwynth one on Maiden Castle, has
Oh,
has an odd distinction. It lacks the illustrated plates.
someone tore him out.
No, at first it appears that way, and Saturday afternoon, and I forward a little bit more here, a little bit of research will turn up something. No, it's not that someone tore them out. It's that every other edition of the Vestutia Monumenta series came with illustrated plates. In this case, it never did.
Hmm.
The carvings that he apparently the illustrated plates should have depicted the carvings in what's known as the Causeway, that first part of Maiden Castle. Apparently, according to the publisher, an extra set of plates for Volume 2 were printed, and none were ever printed for Volume 3. Now, of course, if one were suspicious and were wondering if something mythos related was found in the visuals of Maiden Castle, one would wonder if those plates were accidentally duplicated, or if there was a deliberate reason to not print the illustrations with Volume 3. Because officially it is nothing other than a publisher's error.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think
Sure.
we're going to be paying a visit to this castle at some point.
Yeah, so Maiden Castle is Dorset. It's about 100 miles away.
Yeah, that's several days travel.
Yeah. On the other hand,
Okay.
you can't see the illustrations because they were never reproduced.
Mm-hmm.
So visiting Maiden Castle is an option. There is another option, though. The author.
Oh, good.
I mean, after all, Jacob Gwynth lives and works in London.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, good to know. Keep that in mind.
He grew
Okay.
up near Dorset, but he currently lives in London. And well, he might be worth talking to. Maybe he actually has if it was truly a printer's error, then he might have access to the original plates that were simply never reproduced. Because
I
according to the printer, the issue was they produced 2 sets for the previous volume, and none, so doubled for volume 2 and none for volume 3. And it was just someone filled out a form wrong.
Oh. Well, the first thing Payne tells the others when he sees them for lunch that next day on Saturday is that he saw it. I saw it. I saw it. It was up there. And then he's super surprised that everybody else did too. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
thought it was special.
Okay, let us take a look at the calendar then.
Next game would be on the 22nd.
Wednesday. Is that a Wednesday?
That's a Wednesday. If Wednesdays still work.
I can do that.
Yeah, same.
Would this work for me?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
8 o'clock,
8
right?
p.m. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it's in the calendar.
Another excellent session. I apologize if I talked over anyone this game.
No, it's all right.
I apologize that I
I don't
talked
think
over everyone at some point
Say,
or another because I didn't
Andy does
shut
it all-
up.
Andy does it all the time.
I'm sorry.
No.
That's all right. No worries.
You just get excited. It's all right.
I was pretty excited. We actually have made a lot of progress this time.
You did. This was a great session. Kevin, an amazing game as always.
Well, thank you.
And Edgeworth's getting married in the spring. Yes.
Maybe so. Hey,
She's beautiful and she's an adventuress. We'll have an
Yeah.
NPC.
I adore
in the
her,
group.
but Edgeworth is a very timid man.
That's why
Yeah.
you need some woman that's going to make all the moves.
Yeah.
this is good. And you have the balloon now, which means if you really do want to go back up there,
Yep, it's in my
in
shed.
front of it,
You know what?
And I'm your
you have the
wingman.
balloon,
Stranger things
and you
been
have
done
someone
for
willing to
love.
pilot it.
Are punt guns a thing yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Although-
what we're going to be needing.
Let's not.
Oh,
Let's
I'm also
hold on.
thinking. I'm also thinking Illingsworth might actually prove some use because what happens when it gets too close for guns? It's
Also, let us give a very
He
strong
knows how to use a spear.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Let's take a very long moment to consider the recoil of a large punt
Oh,
gun.
yeah. In a balloon, it
And
would
the
not be a
effect on
good
a balloon
idea.
gun.
That
Yeah.
was something else I
Give that-
was thinking of. I'm like,
Let's
my
give
guy
that a
knows
little
how to
thought.
use a spear though. So
True.
Spear is an option.
no, I mean
and-
he knows how to fight with a spear. He
He
doesn't
fight.
have to throw it.
He's after boars.
Yep, I know.
Yep.
And also, it's there's also of course rocket-based weapons. Although I believe that's actually how Miss Blanchard eventually died.
Oh dear.
Did you say rocket-based weapons?
Yeah, they have rockets. They
Oh,
fire.
oh,
It's usually
yeah.
for signaling mostly,
Yeah. I
right?
forgot. Like,
But it could be
Well,
used as a weapon.
Rockets were used as weapons.
Oh, were they?
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
it was used in the Revolutionary War. The rocket's red glare.
Yeah, that's the War of 1812. But yes,
Well, okay, so
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
technology hasn't changed much. Those are what are called Congreve rockets.
okay.
They're basically gigantic bottle rockets.
If it
Yeah.
bleeds, we can kill it.
And honestly, they have all the accuracy of a bottle rocket.
Yeah, they're not very accurate at any kind of range, and super dangerous
but-
when they're up close.
Yeah, the British Navy actually did have a few ships, though, fitted out primarily for rockets rather than cannon.
That's who we get help from, the British Navy.
Yep.
My
I have a
brother's in the
question.
army.
I don't think the Army actually has any rocket
Oh,
battalions.
he's in Canada though, anyway, so
Also, that.
he's
Yeah, I'm
safe
not
there.
sure.
Nothing's gonna happen. This,
I know the British Navy deployed specific rocket ships, but I don't think the British Army actually ever deployed a specific rocket battalion.
yes.
Although
Anyway,
grenades are very much a thing.
oh my god, I don't know how to use any of that shit.